It's time for Wenatchee AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel. Today, the Wenatchee AppleSox host the Yakima Valley Pippins in West Coast League Summer Collegiate Baseball. Tonight's broadcast is being brought to you by Apple Valley Honda, Chelan County PUD, Global Car Care, Laura Mounter Real Estate, Mini Blinds and more, One Way Construction, Sangster Motors, and Save Mart. Now, let's go live to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium for tonight's Wenatchee AppleSox game on the NCWLIFE Channel, your local TV station.
And a pleasant good evening. Welcome to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, home of the Wenatchee AppleSox during the summer and home to Valley College's baseball team in the fall and in the spring. I'm Eric Granstrom coming to you live as we bring you the AppleSox matchup, first of three tonight in a huge series against the Yakima Valley Pippins. Yakima Valley has proven to be the class of the North Division in the West Coast League so far this season with an overall record of 30-12. They're 21-12 in West Coast League play. They won the first half championship. They're already in the postseason, and they're leading the way here in the second half as well. We'll talk more about that as the pregame show continues. Meanwhile, the Wenatchee AppleSox coming in after taking 2 of 3 from Walla Walla on the road this week, including a stem winder over Walla Walla 1-0. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups here for the first visitors, the Yakima Valley Pippins, as announced by their head coach, the former coach for the Wenatchee AppleSox, Kyle Crustangel. Batting first to be Spencer Marenko, the second baseman. Batting second, third baseman Chaz Myers. Batting third at DH is Sam Olson. Batting fourth, center fielder Noah Williamson. Batting fifth, the catcher Michael Carpentier. Batting sixth, at first base Willie LeChoix. Batting seventh is left fielder Alex Shanks. Batting eighth is Connor Cabalas, the shortstop, and batting ninth is Corey Jarrell, the right fielder. Meanwhile, for the Wenatchee AppleSox, is announced by their head coach Ian Sanderson. Center fielder Michael O'Hara is batting first. Batting second, right fielder Dakota Duffalo. Batting third, shortstop Adam Grove. Batting fourth, the catcher John Newman. We've got our national anthem coming up, so we'll get you the rest of those lineups coming up after this timeout. You're watching AppleSox baseball against the Yakima Valley Pippins tonight here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Our national anthem. Singing it today.
Hey, all you kayakers, suppers, fisher people, boaters, and splish splashers. Water levels can change quickly. But don't worry, we've got an app for that. It's called Current. Check it out in the App Store and in Google Play. Hey, all you kayakers, suppers, fisher people, boaters, and splish splashers. Water levels can change quickly. But don't worry, we've got an app for that. It's called Current. Check it out in the App Store and in Google Play.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers were following Brian since Brian's automotive time.
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
Building. It's in our blood. Building something out of nothing. It takes heart, grit, and hard work. At One Way Construction, our crew is our family. With decades of contracting experience and our in-house design team, we bring a unique perspective to building. We know that if we work together, we are capable of reaching heights that are impossible to reach alone. The possibilities are endless.
And a great job by Kate Sherrill doing our national anthem here tonight on the NCWLIFE Channel as we are just about ready for baseball here tonight, where the Wenatchee AppleSox take on the Yakima Valley Pippins. Let's get a rest of that lineup here for the Wenatchee AppleSox. Coming into tonight's ball game with a record of 18-22 overall. They're 5-2 in non-league play and 13-20 in West Coast League action. I think we left off with the catcher batting fourth, John Newman Jr. Batting fifth is first baseman Luke Stuka. Batting sixth is third baseman Tino Bethencourt. Batting seventh, the DH is Zach Toya. Batting eighth, the second baseman Jackson Vanderbrake, and batting ninth is left fielder Enzo Apodaca. On the mound for the AppleSox, getting his second start of the season, Jack Lee. He is a 6'1", 175-pound sophomore left-hander out of UC Santa Barbara. His 0-1 record with a 7.04 earned run average includes 6 strikeouts and 5 walks, again making his second start for the AppleSox. Meanwhile, the counter to him on the hill for Yakima Valley will be Kenny Johnson, a 6'3", 195-pound senior from Cal State Bakersfield. He's making his 7th start in West Coast League play. He's 3-3 with a 5.11 earned run average, 31 strikeouts, and 18 walks on the season. So that's your lineups here for tonight. Appreciate you joining us here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Eric Granstrom along with a cast of, about 5 or 6 here on site, and one back in the studio. A very important one is our buddy Tucker Wagner flipping all the switches and dials to make sure we stay on the air here. And thanks to everybody for tuning in on our Facebook feed as well and on our website at ncwlife.com. We got a special treat for you coming up in the third inning. We'll be joined by Wenatchee's Jake Hughes. Jake pitched and started in last night's ball game. Wenatchee winning it over Walla Walla by a score of 1-0 in quite a pitcher's duel. Jake went 6 innings. He did not get a decision in that game. He had 8 strikeouts, 3 walks in his 6 innings last night. No runs, 3 hits on the evening for him at 101 pitches. So we'll talk to Jake Hughes out of Eagle, Idaho, headed to his freshman year at the University of Oregon coming up this fall. So Jake Hughes is going to join us here in the third inning on the NCWLIFE Channel. Again, the starters for Yakima Valley, Spencer Marenko, Chaz Myers, and Sam Olson, the first 3 hitters here for the Pippins. Again, Yakima Valley leading the second half of the North Division standings at 6-3. Walla Walla is in second place at 4-5. Then Bellingham third at 5-7. Of course, the season in the West Coast League split up into 2 halves. And we'll talk more about that as the evening progresses, because if Yakima Valley repeats as the second half champions, it kind of throws a different wrinkle into who will also get into the postseason. So here we go. Jack Lee on the mound. John Newman Jr. behind the plate, and the first pitch to Spencer Marenko is in there for a strike, and we're underway here at about 6:38 in the evening at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. And a beautiful night it is for baseball here tonight on the NCWLIFE Channel. In fact, our game time temperature, according to my phone, says it's 90 degrees. Second pitch is taken for a strike, and the count 0-2 quickly on Spencer Marenko. The 5'10", 165-pound sophomore from Yakima Valley, batting .240 on the season. Standing in the right-handed batter's box, wears number 7 on his back. Jack Lee ahead of him quickly, and the 0-2 pitch is a curveball missing outside for ball 1. 1-2 the count. We've got Dan Kuntz out there in center field again tonight. Good to see you again, Dan. We've got Josiah Davison and Levi Day over there on the first base dugout. Pitch swung on and hit in the air towards right center, and right there on the run is Dakota Duffalo. Nice job by Dakota to corral that one on a line out to right. And that's 1 out here for Jack Lee, and that'll bring up our third baseman, Chaz Myers. We have our camera, as you see there, behind home plate with the beautiful Sox logo behind home plate, done here on the grass portion behind home plate. In the van tonight, taking care of all the switching here, is Malcolm Whitehall, and again Tucker Walker. Tucker Walker Ranger. Yes, no. Tucker Wagner back in our studios. Chaz Myers swings and fouls the first pitch off. 0-1 to count to Chaz. He is batting .276, 5'10", 175-pound sophomore from the University of the Pacific. Not to be confused with Pacific University, which is where I went to college in Forest Grove, Oregon. University of the Pacific down in California. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Lee on the way. Bounces in. Goes all the way to the backstop. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. First of 3 games here this weekend between the AppleSox and the Pippins. Wenatchee coming into tonight trailing by 3 games in the second half of the standings in the North Division. So should Wenatchee somehow be able to sweep this weekend, they come out of the weekend tied for first. Strike called on the outside portion of the plate, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Chaz Myers. Yakima Valley has been very good so far this season. As a team, they're batting 226 on the season in West Coast League play. 40 stolen bases on the season. That pales in comparison to what Wenatchee's been able to do on the base paths. 64 stolen bases for the AppleSox to lead the league this summer. Here comes the 2-2 wind and delivery from Lee on the way. Swung on and hit the air to right field. Watch out, that wind's blowing out to right. Back he'll go, and Dakota Duffalo looks at this one fly away. So we wondered what the wind might do here. The wind really not forecast tonight, but Chaz Myers gets a 1-out home run to right to give Yakima Valley the early lead here, 1-0. And for Chaz Myers, that is his first home run in league play this season. And it comes with 1 out in the first, nobody on. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Sam Olson. Sam, a 5'11", 214-pound senior from the University of Oregon, late to join the Pippins here this summer, has not had an at-bat in league play as of yet. So this will be his first time batting against a league opponent. He swings and misses behind that fastball. 0-1 the count to Sam Olson. Got quite a sprinkling of university as well as community college talent on the Pippins squad. The 0-1 pitch on the way is a curveball in for a strike, and the count 0-2. So Jack Lee doing a good job of working ahead of batters here so far, but giving up that solo home run to Chaz Myers. If he can limit it to that, be a good top half of the first here for Jack Lee. The next pitch swung on and fouled back. The count stays at 0-2 on Sam Olson. AppleSox pitching staff has struggled somewhat this season. They've gotten better here in this second half, but still a team ERA of 5.44. It's among the bottom of the West Coast League. 0-2 pitch is high and outside. Tried to get him to fish at 1. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Noah Williamson, who is just stroking it for Yakima Valley, stands on deck here in the first. 1 out, nobody aboard, and 1 run in. The 1-2 pitch misses for ball 2. 2-2. Mentioned AppleSox coming in after a big win last night, taking 2 of 3 from Walla Walla. They won the first game of that series 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, I should say. Dropped the second game, but then won last night, 1-0. Curveball here misses just outside for ball 3. So he was ahead of Olson 0-2, and now it's run 3-2 to the DH for the Pippins. And we will answer that question here on the broadcast. If you're curious what a Pippin is, the 3-2 pitch low for ball 4. So he was ahead of him and then lost him. That'll bring up Noah Williamson. Yakima Valley coming in after sweeping aside the Bend Elks. Yakima has won 8 of their last 10 ball games, 4 straight coming into tonight. They beat Bend 4-2, 6-5, and 8-4 this week down at Yakima County Stadium. Lee working from the stretch all the while, with Olson peering into that sinking sun here at Paul Thomas. And the first pitch to the plate is inside for ball 1. Noah Williamson batting .274 on the season for Yakima Valley. Leads the team in home runs with 6 dingers. In fact, has 20 extra base hits. Fastball here called strike on the inside corner. Evens the count to Williamson at 1 ball and 1 strike. Yakima as a team has hit 18 home runs on the season in West Coast League play. Wenatchee, 13 dingers. Short lead at first for Olson. The 1-1 pitch to the plate is a curve that doesn't do much, and the count goes to 2-1 as that misses high and outside. First meeting of the season between the Pippins and the AppleSox. They'll wrap it up down in Yakima next time they'll meet. In fact, that'll be the final series of the season for both teams. A lot on the line as the season winds down. Here comes the next pitch inside. Hit him in the back of on the back foot. And so a little problem here for Jack Lee. Runners at first and second now after he walked a batter and hit Williamson. That'll bring up catcher Michael Carpentier Jr. Mentioned Wenatchee taking 2 of 3 from the Walla Walla Sweets. Wenatchee swept last weekend over the Cascade Collegiate All-Stars. So in their past 8 games, Wenatchee has won 6 and lost 2. Williamson will shake it up down there on the past the first base bag, trying to walk off that ball that came and hit him on the back foot in the right-handed batter's box, so kind of limping on his right foot over there. After they check him out, looks like he's going to stay in, be okay. As Michael Carpentier steps in. Michael batting .239, 6'1", 195, sophomore from California Baptist University. He'll step in the left-handed batter's box. Right-handed catcher, but bats left. The delivery by Lee is way outside for ball 1. So Jack got ahead of the first 3 batters he's faced, but then has had troubles. Threw 4 balls in a row to Sam Olson. Now hit Noah Williamson and is behind Michael Carpentier. 1 run is in here in the top of the first for Yakima Valley. And the 1-0 pitch is a fastball just barely missing. Long time of framing that by John Newman Jr. He was hoping to get a little help from the home plate umpire, Andrew Mervin, our base umpire, Jordan Shepard tonight. The 2 men who will work this 3-game series this weekend. Huge, huge series for the Wenatchee AppleSox. 2-0 the count on Michael Carpentier. Runners will hold, and the 2-0 pitch is in for a strike, and the count goes to 2-1. Willie Lajoie waiting on deck. That last name is spelled L-A, capital J-O-I-E. A little French coming your way. Well, in fact, speaking of French, Carpentier, I-E-R on the end of that makes it French. Swinging a foul back, and the count evens now to Carpentier at 2 balls. Yeah, 2 strikes. Wenatchee winning last night, getting help from Walla Walla with a couple of walks and a couple of errors in the top of the 9th inning for the AppleSox to score its only run of the ball game and winning at 1-0. Got some baseball blurbs from Bruce Bennett. If I printed them out, I don't know if I grabbed the sheet or not. He was talking about shutouts for the AppleSox this summer. Swing and a miss. That's a huge strikeout for Jack Lee as the second out of the inning. So the runners will hold at first and second. That'll bring up first baseman Willie Lajoie. Also tonight, Port Angeles hosting Cowlitz. Ridgefield is at Bellingham, and we'll talk more about that one. First of a 3-game weekend series for the Bells and Raptors. Ridgefield is just on fire. They're 7-2. They won 6 in a row before losing last night. Also Medford at Corvallis in a non-league game tonight. Walla Walla hosting Bend. Fastball misses low for ball 1 to Willie Lajoie. Appreciate all the help, by the way, again to the radio voice of the AppleSox, Joel Norman, who sets us up with all of the pregame information. Really appreciate his efforts. This fastball misses low and away for ball 2. So again, falling behind a batter is Jack Lee. 1 run in, and that's on a solo home run by Chaz Myers. His first home run of the season for the Yakima Valley Pippins. Two aboard, two down now, and the 2-0 pitch to Lajoie misses low for ball 3. So Yakima Valley won the first half of the West Coast League season's North Division title. So that puts them into the postseason no matter what. Now the second half, Yakima Valley leading right now at 6-3 coming into tonight. They're 2 games out in front of Walla Walla. Well, a 4-pitch walk given up to Lajoie. That'll load up the bases here for Yakima Valley. And that'll bring up left fielder Alex Shanks as he's the 7th batter to come to the plate here in the first inning. And that'll bring John Newman Jr. out from behind the plate for a visit to the mound. So if Yakima Valley also wins the second half of the West Coast League's Northern Division, the team with the best overall record, not second half record, but overall record in the division will get the wild card spot in the postseason. So you look at that right now, Bellingham has the second best overall record behind Yakima Valley at 16-20 coming into tonight. Now Wenatchee and Walla Walla both 13-20, so they're a game and a half back of the Bells coming into the weekend. And that's why that series with Bellingham and Ridgefield is big this weekend, because Ridgefield's on fire, and if they could sweep the Bells, that would be huge for that consideration for the second half and getting into the postseason. But for Wenatchee, you've got it right in front of you, so why not take advantage of it here against Yakima this weekend. 2-0 the count to Alex Shanks. 6 balls in a row here thrown by Jack Lee, so definitely a struggle for the left-hander for the Wenatchee AppleSox out of UC Santa Barbara. Bases jammed, nowhere to put Alex Shanks, and he's ahead of the count 2-0. The sophomore from Gonzaga back in the right-handed batter's box will take the next pitch. It's in for a strike in the count 2-1. Crowd still filtering in here to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Beautiful night for baseball. Little breeze blowing out to right or across from left to right here at the ballpark. Shanks, the 2-1 pitch, swung on and fouled into the AppleSox dugout, and the count now goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, this would be a good time for the fans to make some noise here at Paul Thomas to get behind Jack Lee and get out of the inning with just 1 run given up. That would be a huge sigh of relief for Jack Lee and the AppleSox here. Bases jammed. 2-2 count to Alex Shanks, and the delivery by Lee is high for a ball. So now it's full and nowhere to put Shanks. Olson at third base, Williamson at second, Lajoie at first. And the 6'1", 175-pound sophomore from UC Santa Barbara, Jack Lee, feeling the pressure right now. Comes set, and the left-hander's delivery on the way to the plate is a check swing. It's low for ball 4. They're going to check. He did not go, and a walk and a run will come in. 2-0 Yakima Valley. Give an RBI on the bases loaded walk to Shanks. As Olson comes in, Williamson moves to third base, Lajoie to second, and Shanks to first, and that'll bring Ian Sanderson out of the dugout. And of course, it's the first inning, so nobody's warming up in the bullpen. Connor Cabales steps to the plate now for the Pippins. The shortstop, a 5'11", 185-pound junior from Gonzaga, hitting .250 on the season for Yakima Valley. So we've had a catcher visit to the mound and now a manager visit to the mound, as our home plate umpire Andrew Mervin comes out and says, all right, gents, let's get back to baseball here. Ian Sanderson is a pitching coach aside from being the head coach for the AppleSox, so he's trying to come out and settle down Jack Lee here and tell the sophomore here, just making his second start of the season, to just concentrate. You got 8 other guys behind you trying to make a play here. Only 1 hit in the inning with 2 runs in for Yakima Valley. As Connor Cabales steps up, and the first pitch to him was low and inside for a ball, almost hit him. A long top half of the first frame here for the Wenatchee defense. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a called strike, and the count evens to Cabales at 1 ball and 1 strike. Cabales batting .250, as I mentioned, in his 21st game tonight. Takes the next pitch, fastball misses low and inside for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Just 4 RBIs on the season for Cabales, but he's got a chance to pick up at least 1 here with 2 down and the bases loaded. The next pitch bounces in, and I think it hit him, and it does, and another run's going to score. Well, it has been an ugly adventure here for Jack Lee to start this ball game. 3 runs are in. Bases are still loaded. Second hit batsman of the frame. 3 walks. And the 9th man will come to the plate in right fielder Corey Jarrell. Jarrell, a 6'2", 170-pound sophomore at the University of Washington. And Jarrell is a name that we might have a few folks visiting here that we'll be cheering him on this weekend from Brewster. Pitch misses high and away for a ball to Jarrell. And the count 1-0 on the 9th man here at the plate for Yakima Valley. Fast or throw down to first base. That ball's going to sail into right field on an error on the catcher. Another run is going to score. And this is not the way you want to start a game against the best team in your division. So E2 on the score as Willie Lajoie comes home. Shanks ends up down at third base. Cabales at second. And they count 1-1 here on Corey Jarrell. Back in the left-handed batter's box, and the pitch by Lee is high and away for a ball. 2-1 the count. Much different story than what happened last night. And a pitcher's duel where the opposing pitcher for Walla Walla struck out 14 batters in last night's ball game. Pitched 8 innings with no decision. Strike called here evens the count to Jarrell at 2 balls and 2 strikes. In fact, a couple of North Central Washington products playing for Yakima Valley. They also have a youngster out of Chelan playing for the Pippins. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and the inning mercifully comes to an end. But not before Yakima rings up 4 runs on just 1 hit. That's a home run from Chaz Myers. And we'll head to the bottom half of the first with a hole to dig from. 4-0. Yakima Valley on top. You're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Yes, we would all love to have a crystal ball to tell us precisely where the local economy and real estate market is headed in 2021 and in the near future. However, what we do have here at NCWLIFE Channel are local experts we connect with every week to give us the inside scoop on all you need to know about your home and our local real estate market. Join me each week while we find out what's happening in the greater Wenatchee Valley. I'm your host, Crystal Hughes, and you are watching At Home with NCWLIFE.
If Bigfoot can get cash back with a PUD rebate on heat pump water heaters, so can you. The rebates are real. Save $800 on your next water heater. Visit conservationmakesense.org to learn more. If Bigfoot can get cash back with a PUD rebate on new insulation, so can you. The rebates are real. Visit conservationmakesense.org to learn more.
Well, some work to do for the Wenatchee offense, but that's why 9 innings can be a very long adventure. As we head to the bottom of the first inning, Yakima Valley scored 4 runs in their half of the first, and 3 of which on just balls, basically. It was either a ball or a hit batsman or a throwing error. And that was the case aside from Chaz Myers' solo home run. So 4-0 the score. Wenatchee now comes up at the bottom of the first. Michael O'Hara will lead off, followed by Dakota Duffalo and Adam Grobe. Pitcher is Kenny Johnson, the catcher Michael Carpentier, and the first pitch misses for a ball. 1-0 the count to Michael O'Hara, batting .276 for Wenatchee, 5'11", 195-pound sophomore from Santa Clara. Michael's had a pretty good season this summer for the AppleSox, batting .276. Second pitch misses for a ball. Good eye, and the count quickly 2-0 on Michael O'Hara. And quickly 3-0 as he takes the third pitch for a ball. He'll take the next pitch all the way, 3-1 the count now as it finally finds the strike zone. Michael O'Hara on the season for Wenatchee. As I mentioned, batting .276. He leads the, third in the club, fourth in the club, and stolen bases with 4. And so he is a dangerous one to get on the base paths, and that's how he does it to start off the first inning with a leadoff walk. That'll bring up right fielder Dakota Duffalo, 6'1", 180-pound sophomore from the University of Utah. So Duffalo stands in. Sox trailing at 4-0, but a runner aboard and nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Pitch to the plate by, that was a low strike call. 0-1 to count to Duffalo. Kenny Johnson, a 3-3 record coming in, making his 7th start of the season, a 5.11 ERA. 0-1 to count to Duffalo. O'Hara squinting into that sunshine with the lead at first base. The pitch is a strike called on the outside corner. The count quickly 0-2 on Duffalo. Kenny Johnson standing in the only shade he could find on the mound right now, which is coming from a light stanchion that's over by the AppleSox dugout. Throw over to first base is not in time. Wenatchee 13-20 overall in West Coast League play coming into tonight. The 0-2 pitch is a check swing. He didn't go, and the pitch was high and inside for a ball. 1-2 to Duffalo. Dakota with 15 RBIs on the season. He has got 1 home run. The victim of quite a few strikeouts as he swings and fouls this one back. 26 strikeouts on the summer for Duffalo ties him for 3rd on the club, make that 4th on the club in strikeouts this summer. Leading the way in that category is Adam Grobe with 34 strikeouts. 1-2 the count. Again, Kenny Johnson with a peek over his shoulder at the bag at first. The pitch to the plate swung on and hit down the line, but foul. And the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel brought to you by Save Mart. Shop smart, shop local, providing outstanding value and service since 1962. O'Hara with a little bit of a bigger lead there at first base. With nobody out here in the first inning for the Sox, the 1-2 pitch swung on a hit back past the mound. Second base will take and flip to the shortstop. Throw to first in time. 4-6-3 double play. Nicely turned defensively by Spencer Marenko to Connor Caballos to Willie Lejoie at first base. So 2 down quickly, and that'll bring up shortstop Adam Grobe. Adam batting .259 on the summer. He's 6'1", 190 pounds, a junior from South Carolina upstate for the Wenatchee AppleSox. Grobe from Montgomery, Ohio. Forgot to ask our former employee Caitlin Heddersheet if she knows of his hometown, Montgomery, Ohio. Grobe takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1 to count. The 0-1 pitch, he was way out in front of that curveball. The count now 0-2 quickly on Adam Grobe. Yakima Valley, a longtime nemesis for the Wenatchee AppleSox since joining the West Coast League. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, high and sails all the way to the backstop. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Grove back in, and the 1-2 pitch low and away for ball 2. Good eye by Adam Grove. And gone swinging is Grove, and that'll be the final out. So it turns out to be a 1-2-3 inning for the Sox here in the first. We will head to the second inning of play with Yakima Valley leading the AppleSox 4-0. You're watching Wenatchee Baseball here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
The Wenatchee Valley. Here, most of us really enjoy the great outdoors, and most of us try to make the most of our natural resources. Here at Apple Valley Honda, we know that for generations, we have harnessed nature to sustainably power the West, and we are proud to be part of that tradition as an environmentally green dealership award winner. Being a green dealership means Apple Valley Honda has reduced our overall environmental impact. We are so proud to live in this wonderful community.
Hi, everybody. In North Central Washington, I'm Dan Kuntz, and I do the honors each and every weekday morning at 7 a.m. to bring you live local news, local weather, local sports. It's called Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's a fun show. I enjoy doing it. I invite you to watch it. It's Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. live right here on the NCWLIFE Channel. I interview movers and shakers. We have a good time. Start your day live and local. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley right here with yours truly on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hello there, and welcome to AppleSox Baseball here on the NCWLIFE Channel. I'm Eric Granstrom, and the location here atop the third base dugout for the AppleSox as we get ready for the top half of the second inning, and it will be the second time through the order here, and they're going to keep Jack Lee in the ballgame. They'll face Spencer Marenko, Chaz Myers, and Sam Olson. It was an adventuresome first inning for Lee, who gave up 4 runs, a home run, and 4 walks, and 2 hit batsmen in that first frame for Jack Lee. So hopefully you got some good advice in the dugout in between the first and second on what he may have been doing in that first frame. So Spencer Marenko will step up. Marenko 0 for 1. He lined out to right in his first at bat, and he'll line to right again, but this time it's over the fence. Line drive home run, the second hit of the ball game for Yakima Valley, is another shot that won't come back. So Spencer Marenko with the home run. That is his second home run in West Coast League play, and Yakima Valley extends the lead to 5-0. Well, when he's been throwing strikes here, Jack Lee, Yakima Valley has hit it hard twice. Chaz Myers, speaking of which, hit one out to right in the first. He steps up now, 1 for 1. First pitch to him is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. By the way, down to the AppleSox bullpen, they have Martin Haswell warming up out of California. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike, and the count even to Myers at 1-1. He got ahead of Myers 0-2 and then threw 2 straight balls, but the next pitch was taken over the right field wall for a home run back in the first. The 1-1 pitch here, curveball misses high for ball 2. 2-1 the count. AppleSox Baseball here on the NCWLIFE Channel, brought to you by Sangster Motors, home of the all-electric Hummer EV and SUV. Order yours now. The American Challenge is on at Sangster Motors. 2-1 pitch is in there for a strike, evens the count at 2-2. So that's where Myers was last frame, with the count even to him at 2-2 when he smacked one out to right. Opposite field home run. We do have a breeze blowing out to right here. It was dead calm as we got to the ballpark to set up tonight. This pitch swung on and hit in the air, shallow left field. This is going to be trouble. It'll drop in for a base hit. Little can of corn to left, but nobody could get to it. So a couple of hits, a couple of at-bats for Myers, and that'll bring up designated hitter Sam Olson. Jack Lee got ahead of Olson in his first at-bat in the first. Had him down in the count 0-2, but then threw 4 straight balls to walk him, and Olson would eventually come around to score on a bases-loaded walk to Alex Shanks. So 1 on, 1 in, nobody out. And the pitch to Olson by Jack Lee on the way. Swung on a hit hard to the third baseman. Double play chance. Bethencourt to second for 1. The relay to first. Little double clutch. Oh, they're going to say got him at first base. Wow. I didn't think that throw was in time, but there you go. Around the horn for a 5-4-3 double play. Good job by starting by Tino Bethencourt. Jackson Vanderbrake had to double clutch it, but was able to get it over to Luke Stuka in time, and that's a huge double play. So 2 down now in the second brings up Noah Williamson. Noah was hit by a pitch on his right foot. Actually, we're going to get a different hitter in here. So Noah Williamson is out of the ball game. And it is number 37 in there now. Let's see what I did with my Yakima Valley roster. Figure out who that is. The first pitch was a ball. Second pitch is a ball. Williamson took that pitch off of his foot, and so now he is out, and Chase Graves is now in. And the 2-0 pitch is in for a strike, and the count now 2-1 on Chase Graves. So Graves now batting for Noah Williamson, a 6-foot, 155-pound sophomore from the University of the Pacific out of Clayton, California. So a loss for Yakima Valley to lose Williamson. This pitch swung on and popped into the air to shallow left field. In on the ball is Apodaca, and that'll be it. So they do give up a home run, does Jack Lee, but that'll be it. But now Yakima leads it by a score of 5-0. AppleSox due up next. You're watching Wenatchee Baseball tonight here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Let's meet Jerry Heinrich.
Let's face it, selling your good used vehicle can be a hassle, if nothing else. Consign your vehicle here at Global Elite Motors. When you do, you'll get the best possible price because of our proprietary selling system. We offer the ability to finance, add warranties, take trade-ins, and much, much more. Each consignment vehicle we represent is thoroughly inspected and marketed to attract qualified buyers. Let us help sell your quality vehicle. Buying a vehicle? Consigning a vehicle? Stop by Global Elite Motors on Wenatchee Avenue at Global Car Care.
Our experience with NCWLIFE has been amazing.
People think television and they think it's this huge production thing. It's really expensive.
It's crazy how affordable it is. I couldn't believe it.
It's not as expensive as we thought it was going to be.
I would say I was really surprised to see that it was actually comparable to radio ads or print media.
It was really affordable.
Sox trail at 5-0. We head to the bottom of the second. John Newman Jr., Luke Stuka, and Tino Bethencourt due up here for the AppleSox in the second. 5 runs on 3 hits for Yakima Valley. 2 big home runs so far by Chaz Myers and Spencer Marenko. New center fielder is Chase Graves for the Pippins as Newman steps to the plate, batting .192 on the season, takes the first pitch from Kenny Johnson low for ball 1. Newman, a 6-foot, 210-pound sophomore from UC Santa Barbara. John in the right-handed batter's box with the 1-0 pitch is a strike on the outside portion. The count even now at 1 ball and 1 strike. AppleSox beat Walla Walla on Tuesday 7-0. Newman in that game went 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs. Swing and a chop foul at the plate, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on John. Newman played in last night's game as well, went 0 for 4 at the plate for the AppleSox in a 1-0 win. Wednesday, Walla Walla turned the tables, downing the Sox 8-2 in the 1 win in that 3-game set. The 1-2 pitch on the way is inside for a ball. Evens the count to Newman at 2 balls and 2 strikes. AppleSox up and being a little vociferous down below me in the third base dugout. Trying to get behind their batter here, John Newman. And the pitch to the plate is high for ball 3. Luke Stuka waiting on deck here for Wenatchee. Wenatchee got the leadoff man aboard on the first, but then double play made it 2 down, and Adam Grove then struck out the end of the inning. This pitch misses for a ball. Boy, that was close, but a walk, leadoff walk again for Wenatchee. Let's see if they can make it count here with nobody on, and that brings up first base, or nobody out. That brings up first baseman Luke Stuka. Stuka batting .232 on the season for Wenatchee. 6'2", 205-pound sophomore from Saddleback College down in California. Luke steps in the left-handed batter's box against the right-hander on the mound, Kenny Johnson. Willie Lajoie keeping the runner over there at first base. Spencer Marenko at second, Connor Cabales at short, Chaz Myers at third, Alex Shanks out in left, Chase Graves the new center fielder, Corey Jarrell in right. This pitch swung on a chop foul on the first base side to Luke Stuka, 0-1 the count. Stuka was 2 for 4 in the win on Tuesday, 2 for 4 in the loss on Wednesday, and 1 for 3 last night. So nice hitting streak here for Luke, stepping up with 1 on and nobody out here in the bottom of the second. The 0-1 pitch to him swung on a chop slowly to the mound. The pitcher will field and then throw over to first base. That's the only play he had. So it turns out to be kind of a swinging bunt. 1 down for Wenatchee as Newman winds up down at second base, and then I'll bring up third baseman Tino Bethencourt. Tino, a 6'2", 190-pound sophomore from San Diego State, batting .200 on the season for the AppleSox. Bethencourt has the team lead in home runs with 4. Be a beautiful time to get one here. Got that lead right now, which is 5 runs. The first pitch to Bethencourt, and he was thinking home run, fouled it at the plate, 0-1 the count to Tino. Bethencourt in the series this week against Walla Walla was 0 on Tuesday and Wednesday, so looking to get on the hitting track here tonight. Kenny Johnson's delivery to the plate is low for a ball. Evens the count to Bethencourt at 1 ball and 1 strike. Seattle Mariners lost last night to Sean Manaea and the Oakland A's 4-1. Manaea with 13 strikeouts in that ball game. So we had a couple of pitchers duels on either side of the state last night. One in Seattle at T-Mobile Park, the other down at Bolesky Stadium in Walla Walla. This pitch is taken for a ball to Bethencourt. Missed narrowly, 2-1 the count to the Sox third baseman. Always an adventure when Wenatchee and Yakima meet in baseball. Well, really in any sport. You go down to high schools. The 2-1 pitch to the plate, swung on it, ripped to center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Rounding third and heading for home, John Newman Jr. is going to score on the RBI single by Tino Bethencourt. The AppleSox are on the board. Sharp single to center, had the pitch count in his favor. Bethencourt rips it and will collect an RBI in the process. And for Bethencourt, that is his 17th RBI on the season. So the Sox get rid of the goose egg and now trail at 5-1. That brings up designated hitter Zach Toya. Toya in his 13th game for the AppleSox, really pretty much statistically leading the team in hitting. He'll check his swing, or did he check it? No, yes he did. Wow, I thought that was a swing all the way. But 1-0 the count here to Toya. 6'3", 200-pound freshman from Utah, batting .316. And now his 13th game of the season for the Sox. 1-0 the count to him with a runner at first base and 1 down and 1 in. The runner goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw down to second base is in time. They got him. Bethencourt caught stealing. 2-4 on the putout, so that's the second out of the inning. Bethencourt, that's the second time he's been caught stealing. He has 11 stolen bases coming into the game tonight. And now Ian Sanderson wants to talk to the base umpire, Jordan Shepard, about that call. Of course, we don't have replay. We could have replay here on the NCWLIFE channel, but, you know, I mean, they're not going to be able to use it on the field. It's not part of the West Coast League mode of operation. Well, there was no wind forecast, but boy, we have a little breeze blowing here at the ballpark tonight. It's blowing left to right at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. By the way, dimensions of the ballpark: 335 to left, 408 to straightaway center, and 325 to right. Sanderson, a little visit to behind the mound there to have a discussion with Jordan Shepard on whether he was absolutely certain about that play out there at second base. By the way, the count to Toya is 1-1 now, with 2 down for the AppleSox. This pitch bounces in for a ball. 2-1 the count to Zach Toya. Freshman from Utah steps back in the right-handed batter's box. And a 2-1 pitch. Boy, that looked close, but no, ball 3. So the Seattle Mariners taking on the Oakland A's again, second of 4 games at T-Mobile Park this weekend. Yusei Kikuchi on the mound tonight. This pitched low for ball 4. So a 2-out walk given up here to Toya. Second walk of the inning here for Kenny Johnson. That'll bring up second baseman Jackson Vanderbreg. AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE channel, brought to you in part by One Way Construction. Your project, your way. Call 509-679-3256 today, online at onewayconstruction.com. And a close play over at the bag at first is not in time. Vanderbreg waiting for the first pitch to come his way from Johnson. And it is, and it's high, and nearly hit him right in the head. 1-0 the count to Jackson Vanderbreg. 6 foot, 190 pound sophomore from Tacoma Community College. Vanderbreg in his 24th game, still trying to find his hitting shoes. Batting 154. This pitch swung on and hit to right field. It's going to get out for a base hit. They're going to hold the runner at second as Corey Jarrell comes up with that baseball quickly out there in right field. So nice job by Jackson Vanderbreg to get the base hit. Runners at first and second. That'll bring up left fielder Enzo Apodaca. 5'9", 180-pound redshirt freshman from Gonzaga, batting .242 on the season. Apodaca will step in to the left-handed batter's box, hoping for some 2-out magic here for the AppleSox. Apodaca on the season with 6 RBIs. He's got a couple of ducks on the pond out there, though. Working from the first base side of the rubber is Kenny Johnson. Gets a sign from his catcher, Michael Carpentier, and the pitch to the plate is a fastball away for ball 1. Mariners just got underway. First pitch tonight at T-Mobile Park was at 7:10. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on the other games in the West Coast League as well as we continue tonight. 1-0 pitch from Johnson on the way. Swung on and hit to center field, but right there is going to be the center fielder, Chase Graves, and he'll make the catch for the out. So that'll do it for Wenatchee, but they do get 1 run on 2 hits. They leave 2. We'll head to the 3rd inning. It is 5-1 Yakima Valley on top. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
With PUD rebates, we'll give you money to upgrade your house and reduce your energy footprint.
The rebates are real. Visit conservationmakesense.org to learn more.
Hi, I'm Shauna Larson. I'm the designated broker here at Laura Mounter Real Estate. We are a locally owned firm, and we've worked hard to earn our reputation of always doing business the right way. Laura Mounter Real Estate is continually investing in the best technologies and highest quality marketing. For these reasons, our community has voted us the world's best real estate office for the past 5 years. If you have real estate needs, let a Laura Mounter real estate agent show you the difference.
Welcome back once again to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, here home of the Wenatchee AppleSox every summer. Well, except last summer because of COVID-19. Thanks for joining us tonight on the NCWLIFE Channel. I'm Eric Granstrom, Michael Carpentier, Willie Lajoie, and Alex Shanks due up here in the third for Yakima Valley. Pippins lead at 5-1. Yakima Valley brought 9 men to the plate, scored 4 runs in the first inning on a home run and a slew of walks and hit batsmen. It was not the way that Jack Lee wanted to start this game. He gave up a homer to Spencer Marenko in the second, but then settled down to get the next 3 outs and still in there to pitch here in the third. Speaking of pitchers, we're expected to be joined by Jake Hughes, who started last night's game, a win for Wenatchee and Walla Walla. So he's expected to join us here on the broadcast in just a matter of moments as we get ready for this third inning of play. Michael Carpentier 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging in the first for Yakima Valley. Pippins 5 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 1 run, 2 hits, and an error for Wenatchee. Yakima Valley en masse out in front of their dugout, making some noise here for the Pippins. Jack Lee now standing in the shadows on the mound. The delivery to the plate, swung on, popped up, and let's see what the wind does with this one. Adam Grobe calling for it, and he will make the catch behind his head. So 1 pitch and 1 out, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Jack Lee. 1 down here in the third brings up first baseman Willie Lajoie. Willie walked and scored in the first. He scored on a throw, an errant throw by John Newman down to first base on a pickoff play by Newman. That allowed Lajoie to score. The pitch here swung on and fouled at the plate. The count 0-1 to Lajoie. Great night for Jake Hughes last night. He went 6 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 3 walks. And as we understand it, that was his last performance of the summer for the Wenatchee AppleSox. Now the base umpire is telling the entire dugout to get into the dugout, the players over there. And now a little discussion here for the former AppleSox coach, Kyle Crustangel. As everybody was on the edge of the artificial surface over there in the dugout, now Yakima Valley will really make some noise, and the 0-1 pitch is a strike called to the count 0-2 to Lajoie. Jack Lee is ahead. The 0-2 pitch swung on a grounded foul on the third base side, so the count will stay at 0-2. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Mini Blinds and More. They specialize in custom blinds, shades, draperies, exterior awnings, exterior sunscreens, unmatched customer service. That's Mini Blinds and More. Lee ready with the 0-2 pitch again, and it's a curve missing outside for a ball. 1-2 the count. Rosters expanded this summer, and everybody that's wearing a Pippins uniform making a lot of racket over there in the first base dugout. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Lajoie, swung on and a fly ball to left field and deep. Apodaca is back, but he will circle around at about the warning track, make the catch for the outs, and there you hear the roar of the home crowd here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. So 2 down here in the third brings up the left fielder Alex Shanks. Shanks 0 for, let's see, he's not had an official at bat. He walked with the bases loaded and scored a run in the first on that RBI walk with the bases loaded. So Jack Lee retired the first 2 he faced here in the third. Can he get through the 3 in order? Swing and a miss. 0-1 to count to Shanks. Be great to get a clean inning here for Jack Lee and get to the AppleSox bats again. Jack is ready. Here comes the 0-1 pitch on the way to the plate. Curveball in for a strike. He's working ahead of everybody here in the third. Nice job of settling down by Jack Lee, the sophomore from UC Santa Barbara, looking to close it down here. The 0-2 pitch is a curveball. Strike three called. Gone looking is Alex Shanks in a 1-2-3 frame for Lee. The AppleSox will head to the batter's box again. We'll take a break. You're watching AppleSox baseball as they trail Yakima Valley 5-1 here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. We can lift this up. Time warranty.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Welcome back again here to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. The AppleSox trail it here 5-1, but maybe a little juice flowing in the veins after Jack Lee retired the side in the top half of the third. To the bottom of the third and top of the order for Wenatchee, Michael O'Hara, Dakota Duffalo, and Adam Grove due up here in this part of the third. And we're pleased to be joined now here on the broadcast by the man who got a great start in last night's game, a pitcher's duel, Jake Hughes. I asked if it was Jacob or Jake, and your parents call you Jacob, so I don't want to get you in trouble here. So.
Yeah, no, Jake is fine. You know, I got a different nickname for everybody I know, so yeah, everything works for me.
Okay, what is your nickname?
I got a nickname my sophomore year of high school. It's Bocage. It's just Jacob backwards. So some of the guys call me different ways of saying Bocage. So they call me everything.
Swinging a fly ball to right field. Going to be trouble. That's going to drop in for a base hit, and Michael O'Hara aboard with a leadoff single to right here for the AppleSox. Eagle, Idaho. What's that, suburb of Boise, kind of, right?
Yep, it's about 30 minutes outside downtown.
Okay, so how big a town is Eagle, Idaho?
It's pretty much the same size as Wenatchee. Yeah, I think it's about 50,000 people. Okay. You know, a lot of lakes, rivers, trees.
Did you know about Wenatchee before you came here?
I had one connection to Wenatchee. He was my trainer back home. He played 2 years in Wenatchee, so I did know about Wenatchee because he told me about it. But other than that, I hadn't been there before.
Okay. Jake Hughes joining us here on the broadcast on the NCWLIFE Channel. First pitch taken for a strike by Dakota Duffalo. Great game last night. What a game. I mean, 101 pitches for you?
102, I think.
102, so
yeah.
I mean, that's your longest stretch of the summer, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've passed the triple-digit mark since the spring of my senior season. But yeah, it was a little hurt. My body was hurting, but adrenaline was pumping. It was a great game. Glad I could do it.
Your arm dragging a little bit today?
Yeah, I've not even tried to attempt to throw yet. So
now it's a different thing. We'll talk about this. Each player for the AppleSox, especially the pitching staff, you have so many games, so many pitches, so many things that you can do through the summer. Now your summer's done, right, as far as Wenatchee is concerned?
Yeah, I had a pitch limit inning cap coming into the summer because I had thrown so much during my spring season this year. So, I hit that cap, and it's time for me to go take a month off and rest before I head up.
How hard is that for you? Because, I mean, you guys are kind of battling for a playoff spot. You get used to the guys, get used to teammates and things like that. How hard is that?
Yeah, obviously I want to stay. I miss home a little bit, but obviously I want to stay. I feel terrible abandoning the team. Mid-season when we're getting close to the end of the season, and we're starting to heat up a little bit and try to get that last playoff spot. But I know these guys are going to continue to keep pushing and try to get that playoffs.
2-2 the count to Duffalo here with a runner at first base. Nobody out for the AppleSox, trailing at 5-1, and this pitch misses high and inside for a ball. Jack Lee tonight goes out there. I'm sure you've maybe had games like that where you struggle in an inning But then he settled down really well and retired in 1, 2, 3. How big is that as a pitcher to struggle? Your manager leaves you in there, and then you're able to kind of settle things down a little bit.
I think that was a great confidence boost for him, just to be able to go back out the next inning, find his groove, get a double play, let the defense work behind you, and just start to throw more strikes. I think that was great for him. Hopefully he can continue to do it throughout the rest of this game.
Absolutely. Well, and that, just his ability to get that 1, 2, 3 out, too, gives you another inning and kind of rest your bullpen a little bit, too.
Exactly.
3-2 the count to Duffalo as he fouled one off right past our camera over there on the first base dugout. O'Hara is a threat to steal. Let's see here with a full count. He'll go. The pitch is swung on and fouled at the plate. The count remains at 3-2 as O'Hara will trot back to the bag at first. So have you had fun? Has it been an experience? Has it been learning? What's it been like for you in Wenatchee this summer?
This has been, I would say, one of the best summers of my life.
Really?
Coming out of, this is my first, taste of college baseball before I head to college in the fall. So it's a great group of guys, nobody on the team. Everybody gets along really well. We all hang out together in our off time. Just a great start for me to enter my college playing career.
So now as you head off to college, tell everybody where you're going to college.
Be attending the University of Oregon in the fall.
So how do you go from Eagle, Idaho to the University of Oregon? How did that work?
I was originally committed to Boise State.
Being close to home, right?
I was, one of the hometown guys, going to stay home, try and play for my local college. So when that got canceled, it was, a big shock. But I was able to get my name out there through, different tournaments and different scouts where trust me enough to, give my name to Mark Wasikowski, head coach. So
how tough was that with COVID and shutdown to still be able to get your name out there? That had to be a little difficult, wasn't it?
I would say I got one of the easier routes because Idaho was very open during the spring. So, other teams would come down to Idaho to play us, and with them brought the scouts. So I got a very easy path. But I know other people have been less fortunate than I have.
Runner from first goes, the throw down to second base, and it's plenty of time. Caught stealing is Michael O'Hara. Nice throw by catcher Michael Carpentier. 2 down suddenly for the AppleSox as the count is 0-1 on Adam Grobe after Dakota Duffalo struck out. Jake Hughes joining us here on the broadcast, who is headed to the University of Oregon out of Eagle, Idaho, coming to Wenatchee. And the next pitch is a swing and a miss by Grobe. You able to hang out for a couple innings, I hope?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing planned today.
Okay. All right. Well, and speaking of which, you probably had planned to go home, but I hear something is keeping you from doing that.
Yeah, I was originally supposed to go home today. I was going to come to the clubhouse, get all my stuff, and say bye to all the guys before I head home. But another car malfunction has got me locked in the shop for the weekend until I can get my piece in.
Ground ball out to Cabales, who throws over to Lajoie, and that'll do it for Wenatchee. We're going to keep Jake Hughes here on the broadcast. AppleSox, as it turns out, retired in order here in the third to the fourth. We go 5-1, Yakima Valley leading it. You're listening and watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
With PUD rebates, we'll give you money to upgrade your house and reduce your energy footprint.
The rebates are real. Visit conservationmakessense.org to learn more.
To the fourth frame we go as Wenatchee trails Yakima Valley 5-1 here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Laura Mounter Real Estate, voted world's best realtor in the valley. That's Laura Mounter Real Estate. Connor Cabales, Corey Jarrell, and Spencer Marenko do up here, the 8, 9, and 1 batters for Yakima Valley. who have 5 runs in the ball game, but just 3 hits to show for it. 2 of those are home runs. That's something. Jake Hughes joining us here on the broadcast. Not that you had played here before. You have to adjust to every ballpark you go to, especially with the jet stream to right field here. How has that adjustment been for you?
Yeah, you know, it's a little bit of a shorter porch here in right field, and then the wind is always blowing out to right, so balls tend to carry a little more. Just big goal for the summer, not just playing at the field, but for the summer, is just keep balls low, because as you get higher up, everybody's stronger, higher, like balls with elevation, the strike zone tend to go farther.
Sure.
So keeping the ball low and, you know, trying to not put it in a place where people can hit it out is a big goal of mine.
1-1 the count to Cabales here. As Jack Lee continues to pitch in the 4th, this pitch is a curveball missing high for ball 2. 2-1 to count. So what's the book on you, Jake?
I think I'm trying to get first pitch strike. First pitch strike, usually 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball. I try to throw that a lot and get some sink on it. And then, you know, I've had a curveball, but I've been working on a slider. And, you know, I guess my arm slot is a little weird, so it tends to be a slurve a lot more. Okay. So I've been dominant with that this year. So
I wish that was recognized more, the slurve. Yeah. I mean, hardly anybody talks about that anymore. But there's a difference between a slider and the slurve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So slider, you know, when I throw it, I try to rip it down a little more and try to get a little more vertical movement, but when it's slurved, it's more of a horizontal break.
Cabales leads the 4th inning here with a leadoff walk, and that'll bring up the number 9 batter in the order, right fielder Corey Jarrell out of Brewster. There's a difference between what you'll be told at the University of Oregon, I'm sure, and, you know, Ian Sanderson here. I'm sure they compare notes and stuff, but have you learned anything this summer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pitching for Wenatchee?
I used to have a pitching coach, so I spent a lot of time with my mechanics, but the past year through COVID, I haven't been able to have that. So getting a true pitching coach again this summer has been really great. I feel like my emotions got a lot more consistent through the stretch and wind up, and then as the game progresses, instead of going back to, you know, something that can just get me over, because get me overs get hit.
Right.
So
right.
Just trying to stay consistent throughout the game.
So are you a starter? I mean, is that your game?
That's always my goal. I was a starter all throughout high school. And
right.
Going to University of Oregon, that's my goal. They want me to be a starter. So
okay. All right.
I'm going to continue
so
to
you're used to that role.
Yeah.
Runner from first stole second base. This pitch grounded right to the first baseman. Luke Stuka will take it to the bag himself. Meanwhile, down to third base on the play goes Connor Cabales. 3 unassisted on the putout. 1 down for Yakima Valley. Back to the top of the order for Spencer Marenko, who has a home run tonight. He's 1 for 2. He also lined out to right. So if you're Dakota Duffalo out there in right field, get ready. In fact, Dakota warming up his arm right now in case the ball does come to him with a runner at third base. Maybe a fly ball, sack fly situation, a chance to throw home as Marenko steps up. Pitched by Lee as a curveball missing high for a ball. 1-0 the count. As a pitcher, and as you get guys that are around the infield, like this situation right here, how does it change your approach to the plate, to the batter at the plate with a runner at third base? As a hitter this past spring, with a runner at third base and less than 2 outs, the goal is to try and get something in the air deep enough for him to tag. So a lot of it is just living low, you know, trying to get a rollover, trying to get my defense working, trying to get the infield to get an out before, you know, a guy from third can score. Try to get 2 outs before, while he's still at third base. This pitch swung on a rip to left center field. This is extra bases. Might go all the way to the wall. Nope. O'Hara is able to cut it off, but it's going to be a run-scoring double here for Spencer Marenko. So he is a couple of long balls, couple of RBIs tonight as Cabales scores from third base easily, and that'll bring up third baseman Chaz Myers. What were you told about AppleSox baseball before you came here? You know, like I said, you said you had a catch. My coach, yeah, right. He said it was, you know, a smaller town, what I'm more used to. A lot of host families came to the games. You know, a little bit of an older crowd, that really into the games, really behind our players, and yeah, just competing every game, trying to get wins. Yeah. It's been a while since the AppleSox have had that success of getting. They were in with the postseason against Victoria here a few years ago, but as far as the championships and things like that, it's been a little while since the Sox have been able to accomplish that in the summer collegiate baseball. That fit, you mentioned small town, kind of similar to your hometown. Was that important to you as you found out, getting to Wenatchee and going, okay, this isn't too much different than home?
Yeah, I thought, to be honest, I thought it was a little smaller than it was going to be. So, it was bigger than I thought. So I thought it was perfect. I like it. I live on the outskirts in East Wenatchee, so everything is pretty close for me, or fairly close. It's not, I think the longest drive is 15 minutes anywhere, so it's very comfortable here.
Host family is?
Craig and Sharon Hogan.
Okay, how's that been?
It's awesome. They got a beautiful house right below the mountains.
Beauty.
Bunch of orchards around it. It's awesome.
Nice. 0-2 the count here to Chaz Myers, the pitch by lead. Beautiful off-speed pitch, swing and a miss. And a big second out there for the AppleSox with one in and one on. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Sam Olson. So, 8 strikeouts for you last night? Almost team lead in strikeouts, I think, on the summer. That's pretty good. Is that something you want to do? You want to strike guys out, or is it just as long as they don't score, I'm fine? I try to go for efficiency. So first pitch strikes, try and get outs within 3 pitches. So if that is the way of strikeout, that's fine by me. But obviously, just try to get as long in the game as you can every single time. So any way that I can get. Are you cognizant of your pitch count? Are you each inning you come off the mound, you're like, oh, that was 23 pitches. That was a little much that frame.
I don't. I think I keep more of a mental note. Okay. I don't check our paper every inning. I just, if I threw a lot of pitches in one inning, obviously I got to just try and get first pitch strikes and work from there. So.
Well, Jack Lee's doing a good job of working ahead of Sam Olson here, ahead of him 0-2 now, as he's trying to get out of this frame after giving up a leadoff walk that came around to score on Spencer Marenko's RBI double. Marenko still out there at second base for Yakima Valley in a 6-1 ball game now. Lee checks over his shoulder at the runner at second base, and the lefty's 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and that'll do it. Nice job by Jack Lee to settle down here, but Yakima Valley gets a run on a hit. They leave a man. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. It's 6-1. Yakima Valley on top of Wenatchee. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
So look out.
Hey, all you kayakers, suppers, fisher people, boaters, and splish splashers. Water levels can change quickly. But don't worry, we've got an app for that. It's called Current. Check it out in the App Store and in Google Play. Hey, all you kayakers, suppers, fisher people, boaters, and splish splashers. Water levels can change quickly. But don't worry, we've got an app for that. It's called Current. Check it out in the App Store and in Google Play.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
You're watching AppleSox baseball here on the NCWLIFE Channel. To the 4th frame we go. Bottom of the 4th. John Newman, Luke Stuka, Tina Bethencourt due up here for the Wenatchee AppleSox. Trailing it now 6-1. Visiting with Jake Hughes, starting pitcher for the AppleSox, who completed his summer last night with no decision, but certainly had a big factor in the win over Walla Walla. Sounded like that was a pretty exciting environment there at Burlesque Stadium for all 3 of those games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first game, getting into the stadium for the first time, great fan experience there. The beer garden down the right field line, hanging out with the bullpen. So, that was fun being able to, talk with the fans a little bit. But yeah, it was a really fun game to be able to get out the first night and get a good win. A lot of offense. That was a great way to start the series.
Well, the AppleSox get a good start here to the 4th frame. John Newman with a base hit up the middle. as the Sox, for the 4th consecutive inning, have the leadoff man aboard. That'll bring up first baseman Luke Stuka. So I'm sure you're a multi-sport guy in high school.
I was not.
You weren't?
I've just played
Baseball all the
baseball
way?
in high
That
school.
was it.
I played basketball and football in
look
middle
at
school.
that play at first base, and they got him. Wow. How about that? Willie Lajoie somehow was able to corral that baseball right at the bag on a hard hit by Luke Stuka. And 3 unassisted, 6. And that is a double play. And 2 down suddenly for the AppleSox brings up third baseman Tino Bethencourt. So how young were you when you knew baseball is my game?
I think I knew baseball was the sport to go in 8th grade, just because that became the clear favorite. I began getting invited to national tournaments.
Sure.
And that was the indication that I was clearly better at baseball. But I loved playing all sports in high school. I would have loved to play all sports in high school. I just had a really big high school, so pretty much everybody played one sport.
Which high school?
Rocky Mountain High School.
Okay.
Right in Idaho.
Yeah. That is a big school. What is that? Is that 4A and
5A?
5A. Okay. Swinging a chop back past the mound. This might be trouble. Shortstop in. Cabala's throw to first base. Not in time. The ball, in fact, will go out of play, and down to second will go Tino Bethencourt. So that's an infield base hit and an E6 on the throw. We'll put him down at second base. So 1 aboard for the Sox with 2 down brings up Zach Toya. So have you got a chance to kind of buddy up with anybody here this summer? I mean, it's kind of been a short, quick 2 months for you, but.
Yeah, I think we got together really fast. A lot of the road trips, buses, that helps too. But more of the younger guys is what I usually hang out with just because they're my age. But yeah, I spent a lot of time with, Jasper, Cole, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
They lived closer to me, so
okay.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with them.
Yeah, geographically that kind of helps, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
You guys, well, especially if your car's not running.
Yep.
Throw down to third base is not in time. Head first slide. Bethencourt jumps up, slaps his hands together in a cloud of dust. Give him a stolen base. And for Bethencourt on the season for the AppleSox, that's his 12th stolen base of the season. He was caught stealing earlier in this game. And the count 1-0 on Zach Toya with a runner 90 feet away here, and the AppleSox trailing at 6-1. Well, they say, how do you eat an elephant as far as a 5-run deficit? 1 bite at a time. Unfortunately, I think this ball is going to be a chance for a play behind the plate. And what a play over there by Kenny Johnson. Johnson gets high fives and celebratory collection over there in the dugout. And unfortunately, that'll do it for Wenatchee here in the 4th. We are visiting with Jake Hughes. You okay to hang out? All right, we will continue our discussion with Jake and talk more baseball coming up as the Sox trail the Yakima Valley Pippins. 6-1, you're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers were following Brian since Brian's automotive time.
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
Building. It's in our blood. Building something out of nothing. It takes heart, grit, and hard work. At One Way Construction, our crew is our family. With decades of contracting experience and our in-house design team, we bring a unique perspective to building. We know that if we work together, we are capable of reaching heights that are impossible to reach alone. The possibilities are endless.
Welcome back once again here to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. New pitcher taking over for the Wenatchee AppleSox here in the top of the 5th inning. It'll be Martin Haswell taking over for Wenatchee, a 6'1", 190-pound right-hander, a freshman for Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, originally from Auburn, California, making an appearance here. Jack Lee goes 4 innings and allows the 6th spot on the board right now on 4 runs, All 6 of those runs were earned here tonight, as Chase Graves will be the first man up for Yakima Valley, followed by Michael Carpentier and Willie Lajoie. And the first pitch on the way by Haswell, high and inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Jake Hughes joining us here on the broadcast to visit with us before he gets his car fixed and heads back to Eagle, Idaho. Pitch swung on and grounded through the wickets on the third base side by Tina Bethencourt. That's going to be an error. And we're talking about getting used to mounds and getting used to fields too. We've seen this, I think, ever since I've been around this ballpark. This third base side can just eat you up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a unique field. I obviously haven't spent much time with it.
Right.
But, you know.
Now, but you were a third baseman at one point, weren't you?
I was.
That's what the notes.
Because, you know, I've never sat in my life, so I don't like watching everybody play, but I think that was more of, I think I'm better than them growing up to this point.
Oh,
but,
sure.
you know, these guys can do that job for me. I'm plenty fine with that.
Nice to have those 8 guys behind you, right, when you're out there on the mound. 0-1 the count to Carpentier as he fouls off the first pitch. Graves over at first base aboard on a leadoff error on Bethencourt, and here comes the runner from first goes. The pitch is low and goes all the way to the backstop, and the count 1-1 now to Carpentier. And a stolen base for Chase Graves. I don't understand. I watch Major League games, and the home fans, every time a pitcher throws over to first base, they boo. Do you know why that is?
I think it's just, you know, obviously with all the pace of play that's going on.
I suppose, yeah.
I think that's the biggest reason, just trying to get the game
But that's been around
going
before they were ever worried about the pace of play. It seems that if the visitors at the home team, if the visiting pitcher throws over to first base when you got a guy over there, the fans just have to boo. And I never quite understood that. That's baseball, to try to keep the guy over close to first base.
Yeah.
This pitch misses low for a ball. 2-1 to count to Carpentier here. So what is your favorite part of pitching?
I would say, you know, having, as selfish as it may sound, having all the attention on you, because, you know, you get
a spotlight is on you. That's for sure.
You get to set the pace for the game. You know, you're the starting pitcher. You get to dictate how the game's going. So obviously last night, both starting pitchers dictated how the game was going.
Yeah, man.
Zeros.
The guy for Walla Walla was just dealing. 14? Yeah. Was it 14 strikeouts?
Something really high.
Holy
he had a great game.
That's something else. It's gonna be kind of fun between, is it you versus him type of thing? Okay, I just saw what you did, I'm gonna go try to do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
pop up in foul territory, caught by Vandenbrake or Stuka over at first base, so an out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, you always want to beat the guy at the other position as you, but you know, he went 8 innings, I only went 6. I'm fine with that. Probably, if I threw any more, my shoulder would have fallen off.
102 pitches, yeah. Shot.
Gavin was able to come in right after me and do the same thing.
So was it partly you? I mean, everybody knew this was going to be it for you. That was the last time for you to pitch this summer. So why not just do all you can, type of thing?
Yeah, it might have been a little of a mental thing. I think I probably could have got taken out earlier in the game, but you know, I was able to keep throwing strikes and battle through it. And you know, this is my last outing of the year, so there's no need to save me for anything.
Right. That was a foul ball to first base, so not a pop foul. So runner at second holds. And the count now 2-2. And look back at second by Martin Haswell. Second pitcher of the ball game for the Wenatchee AppleSox. Haswell again checks that runner closely at second base, and the pitch to the plate swung on a fly ball, ripped to right field. That's going to get extra bases as it goes all the way towards the wall back there. Michael O'Hara comes up with a baseball, but another run will score on the RBI double by Michael Carpentier. And it's a 7-1 ball game, giving RBI to Carpentier. And another extra base hit for the Pippins here. And, well, they're leading the division for a reason. It's a pretty good team you guys are facing tonight.
Yeah, you know, we've been able to see them at the top of the standings all year. Obviously, we haven't played them. This is our first time, so really no idea what to expect. But, you know, they've been able to hit the ball a little bit.
And when you look at that, you know, you coming in like Walla Walla, you faced last night. I don't know if you pitched against Walla Walla. I know you faced them earlier this season. But how much of that do you look? Do you go to the stats, you go to the website, and you go, okay, these guys you look at the spray chart, that type of stuff, as a pitcher going in?
Yeah, I haven't. I was able to, watch 2 games before me, so that was my scouting for the week.
Sure.
So they matched up pretty well with us. A lot of lefties in the order. I guess a lot of balls put in play too.
Right.
So trying to just get the defense to work. And that's really the goal.
1-1 to count to Willie Lajoie now for Yakima Valley, as Haswell continues to pitch here. And a curveball misses outside for a 2-1 count to Lajoie. 1 run is in, an unearned run on the error by Bethencourt to start off the inning on a ball hit by Chase Graves, then an RBI double by Carpentier. This fastball is a called strike, and the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Do you worry about your strike zone? Do you worry about the umpire, or are you just, I'm going to throw it where I know it needs to be?
Yeah, so obviously you have to worry about it because, you can throw it what you think is a strike all day, but if he's not calling it, it's not helping you at all. So, yeah, I think most of our umpires this year have been pretty true. So you're just trying to find your spot.
Well, that's the case no matter what level you're on or anything. I mean, if that guy's going to call that low outside strike, okay, you figure that out in the first inning, right?
Exactly, yeah. You're always trying to watch, even when the other team is pitching against your guys, you're trying to look where his hot spots are in the zone, and you just want to pound those.
Speaking low of an outside, that was a little low and outside to Lajoie, so he's aboard on the walk. So 2 on and 1 down for Yakima Valley brings up left fielder Alex Shanks. Shanks is 0 for 1. He struck out in his last plate appearance in the 3rd. He walked with the bases loaded in the 1st. How hard is that mentally, the walk, for you? Because, it's going to happen. You throw 102 pitches, you're going to walk some guys.
Mm-hmm.
I know pitchers that just hate it. They just
free bases
man.
are just the free passes are the absolute worst thing. That's the last thing you want as a pitcher. And if you're not even competitive in counts, I had a couple walks last night, just 4 straight pitches, and that there's one goal in mind after that, and it's just throw first pitch strike, and just get.
Well, and that's tough too, because the next guy that just saw you throw 4 straight balls is going, okay, I know he's going to put this over the plate because he has to. And sometimes they can tee off on you in that case.
Absolutely, yeah. No matter. Obviously you still want to get a strike, but hitting your zone is what is the most important thing. If you hit your zone and it's a ball, that's you can live with that. But hitting your zone, obviously you try to set up in the strike zone. So when it hits, it's a strike.
Nice job by Haswell to settle down here and get 2 strikes quickly on Alex Shanks. He swung at a beauty curveball there. 0-2 the count to Shanks here with runners at first and second. 2 down, 1 in. In a 7-1 ball game, this pitch swung on a chop slowly to the shortstop, and Grobe not able to make a clean play. He was going to try to toss over to Bethencourt and get the lead runner there. By the time he corralled the baseball, he was not able to have any play anywhere. And we'll see what they score that. Might be another error on the AppleSox. There's already been 1 in this frame. Slow bounding ball to the gap between third and short. The play right in front of Adam Grobe as he was working to his right and just couldn't field it cleanly. So now the bases are loaded for Yakima Valley, and Connor Cabales, the first pitch to him swung on a chopped to second. The throw to second for 1 out. The relay to first, not in time. Oh my. Close play at the bag at first, but a hustling Connor Cabales was able to beat the throw, and a run will score. 8-1 now. Lajoie ends up down at third base on the play. Shanks is out at second. So 2 down in the inning. Fielder's choice puts Cabales aboard. And that'll bring up Corey Jarrell. First pitch to Jarrell misses high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. And that's tough as a pitcher. You got to have a different mindset. I've been around baseball guys enough to know that pitchers are kind of a different breed anyway. You guys are, right?
Absolutely.
You're a little different. I mean that with all the love possible. Toss to the bag at first is in time. Meanwhile, another run will score as Lajoie comes home on the play. 4-3 on the putout on Jarrell. Down to second goes Cabales. back to the top of the order for Marinko. So 3 runs are in the frame. It's now 9-1. Yakima Valley on top. Cabala's out at second. And the pitch by Haswell. Nice stop by John Newman. He'll toss down to the bag at third, but easy on the wild pitch. Moving down to third is Cabales. And as a pitcher, how much do you love having a guy behind the plate you can trust so that you can throw junk and you know he's going to be a backstop there for you?
Yeah, that's, I think, one of the most important things as a starting pitcher. You got to be able to trust your backstop, your catcher. So spending time with them, getting to know them better is always good. And then obviously being able to play with them a lot throughout the summer, throughout the season, just developing that relationship, working with your pitches. That's always great to do.
2-0 pitch here is low for ball 3 to Spencer Marinko. That's going to be fun, too, to come to a place like this and then play it against other guys. And, you're seeing future teammates at Oregon, around the West Coast League. And forever you'll have this experience no matter what you do next summer. If you play, ball or not. This pitch swung on a well-hit ball deep to right center field. We got another home run. A 2-run shot here for Spencer Marinko. That is his second home run of the game. And this one is becoming a blowout here by Yakima Valley. 5 runs are in the inning, 11-1 the score. But back to my point, no matter what happens for you after this, you're going to have these connections in the West Coast League for that summer you played in 2021 in Wenatchee.
Absolutely. We've already been talking about it. The guys know I'm leaving soon, so trying to keep in touch. We're planning trips together, stuff like that. So hopefully I will remember these guys forever. Hopefully they stay in my life for a while.
Chaz Myers now steps in, the 8th man to come to the plate here in the 5th inning for Yakima Valley with the bases now clear. Myers is 2 for 3. Ground ball to third. Bethencourt with a hard time trying to find this one. And another error going to be charged here to the AppleSox. And it's just one of those frames that just seemingly will never end for Wenatchee. 11-1 the score, and Myers aboard on the air. Sam Olson now will step up, 9th man to the plate. And you talk about the mental game too. Mental game on the mound like this where the defense might be struggling or you get those seeing eye singles and it just seems like, holy cow, can I get a break here? You have to mentally be able to shut all that out, don't you?
Yeah, you got to stay positive and just trust your stuff to keep working and just know your defense will come back for you eventually.
And as a team, you have a game like this, you're opening a 3-game series. You know this is a big series against a team that's in front in the standings, and they won the first half division, and you're trying to position yourself for a playoff run. We still have innings to play, obviously, but as a team, you got to move into tomorrow and go up, flush it, that's gone. Let's play another day, right?
Exactly. Regardless of what happens today, you need 2 games to win a series in this league. So, we still got 2 games, Saturday, Sunday. So, we can get ahead there and we win the series.
Olson takes a strike, and the count even to him now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Olson is 0 for 2 in the ball game. He walked and scored in the first, grounded into a double play. Swing and a miss here, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Olson. We as fans talk about rivalries. Naturally, Yakima, Wenatchee, the relationship geographically, we think of this as a rivalry. You guys probably don't think of that, though, do you? I mean, it's new players in every, town in every summer, so.
Yeah, I think every team is a rivalry. Get a little more trash talk in the summer league. So you always want to beat the opponent, especially if they're chirping in your ear. So I think every game has come in with the same mental approach. Is you want to beat the other team. You want to kill them.
2-2 pitch is a ball. That's another wild pitch, and that will move the runner up again. And it has been an adventure for Martin Haswell here as he goes full on Sam Olson with Chase Graves waiting on deck here for Yakima Valley. 9 men to the plate here in the 5th. as well, just trying to get it out, get it over. Pitch is a strike, 3 called on the inside corner. Maybe a little help from the umpire there, and that'll do it for Wenatchee here in the 5th. We will head to the bottom of the 5th. 11-1, Yakima Valley on top. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Yes, we would all love to have a crystal ball to tell us precisely where the local economy and real estate market is headed in 2021 and in the near future. However, what we do have here at NCWLIFE Channel are local experts we connect with every week to give us the inside scoop on all you need to know about your home and our local real estate market. Join me each week while we find out what's happening in the greater Wenatchee Valley. I'm your host, Crystal Hughes, and you are watching At Home with NCWLIFE.
If Bigfoot can get cash back with a PUD rebate on heat pump water heaters, so can you. The rebates are real. Save $800 on your next water heater. Visit conservationmakesense.org to learn more. If Bigfoot can get cash back with a PUD rebate on new insulation, so can you. The rebates are real. Visit conservationmakesense.org to learn more.
Jackson Vanderbrake, Enzo Apodaca, and Michael O'Hara due up here in the 5th for the AppleSox, trailing it now 11-1, visiting with Jake Hughes, who is heading back to Eagle Eye. What's the first thing you're doing when you get home? You having, get together with the family?
Yeah,
gonna go camp? You gonna go fish? What are you gonna do?
What time I get home? I imagine I will just lay on the couch and go to sleep.
Well, it's been a busy summer for you.
Yeah.
I mean, did you have any time between spring and coming here? Or?
I had I think we got done on a Saturday, and I left a week and a half later.
Okay.
So I had a little break, but, spent working out, getting ready for this season.
Sure. Vanderbrake steps up. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game to face Kenny Johnson. Right-hander's delivery here to start the bottom of the 5th. Swung on a rip to left field. That's another nice base hit for Vanderbrake. He came in batting 154, and I've mentioned early on that he was looking for his hitting shoes. I think he found them. Another nice sharp base hit. And the AppleSox, every inning, have had the leadoff man aboard here. So if not for some double plays along the way, this game might be a little different than the crooked numbers out there right now. Enzo Apodaca now due up for the AppleSox. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out to center in his first at bat in the 2nd. Characters on this team. A guy named Enzo Apodaca. I don't know if he's a character or not, but have you found any characters in this lineup here for the AppleSox?
I think everybody would agree that Jasper Nelson holds that title for us. He's something you don't see all the time. He's just full of energy, doing everything.
Pitch misses away for ball 1-1-0 the count. Well, a guy named Jasper, I mean, you kind of got to figure, the folks had something in mind when they named him when he was born. So
yeah, he told us about his family a little bit. They've all got super unique names. It's really cool, yeah. He's another Vegas guy, so, he fits in perfectly.
2-0 the count to Apodaca here. See if the AppleSox can get a little rally here. You got to play every frame. You got to play every out. So it's not unheard of to come back from 11-1. Your history of baseball, Jake. Big comebacks. I'm sure you've been a part of them.
Yeah, obviously they've been everywhere. There's some games getting into each team's got up to 20-ish runs. Comebacks in 9th inning, 7th inning, 5th inning, depending on what level.
Right.
So, baseball is never over until the last out.
That's right. 3-0 the count. So who do you emulate? Who's your pitcher? Major League? Who do you like?
I haven't spent a whole lot of time watching pitchers. I was a big, Dodgers pitcher fan until something happened. I like Luis Castillo from the Reds.
Okay.
He's very whippy. I try to get a lot of two-seam run and change-up run on my pronating of a pitch, and he does the same thing. So, he's been one of the best pitchers I've looked at the most.
Okay.
I like him.
So in Idaho, who's your team?
You're so far away from everything that you pretty much have to go on what your parents like. Boise State is the only team that everybody cheers for. Other than that, you just go off what your parents like. And unfortunately, my dad is like the Reds, and they have not been too terrific recently.
Hey, I've been a Mariner fan forever, and it's a long time for us to have a lot to cheer about. So I know about that.
Yeah.
Michael O'Hara with the count 0-1, 2 aboard here for the AppleSox as Apodaca earned a 4-pitch walk. This pitch swung on a grounded to the shortstop. Double play chance. He'll flip to second for one. The regulator first is in time. Down to third base goes Vanderbrake. Crowd did not like the call at first base. 6-4-3 double play. Vanderbrake at third, and that'll bring up right fielder Dakota Duffalo. That is the, by the way, third double play in the game here for the visitors out of Yakima. Pitcher's best friend, right?
Absolutely. I've had a couple of tough innings this year where defenses come together and gotten me out of that. Just, I think 2 last night, helped me continue.
So, I mean, a little extra fist bump going to the dugout after that, or I mean, just kind of a little look, or.
No, yeah, that's the first thing you do. Just find your guys, tell them, thanks for saving me. Go hit a bomb now.
Do you miss hitting?
I miss high school hitting because I did really good. These guys look kind of good, so I don't think I'd have the best time hitting
against them. Does not compute for you?
No.
Fly ball to right field, and that is going to do it. That's going to do it with our visit here with Jake Hughes. Jake, nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Best of luck no matter what happens. If you come back here, we'll ask you come back and visit us again.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
There you go. Jake Hughes joining us here on the broadcast. It's 11-1, Yakima Valley on top. We'll come back with more after this on the NCWLIFE Channel. Great job, buddy. Thanks.
The Wenatchee Valley. Here, most of us really enjoy the great outdoors, and most of us try to make the most of our natural resources. Here at Apple Valley Honda, we know that for generations, we have harnessed nature to sustainably power the West, and we are proud to be part of that tradition as an Environmentally Green Dealership Award winner. Being a green dealership means Apple Valley Honda has reduced our overall environmental impact. We are so proud to live in this wonderful community.
Hi everybody, in North Central Washington, I'm Dan Kuntz and I do the honors each and every weekday morning at 7 a.m. to bring you live local news, local weather, local sports. It's called Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's a fun show. I enjoy doing it. I invite you to watch it. It's Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. live right here on the NCWLIFE Channel. I interview movers and shakers. We have a good time. Start your day live and local. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley right here with yours truly on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Martin Haswell continues to toss here for the Wenatchee AppleSox as we head to the 6th inning of frame. 11-1 our score. And Chase Graves will lead it off here for Yakima Valley, who led it off in that 5th inning. That old wheels on the apple cart started to rattle badly here for the AppleSox as Yakima Valley scored 5 runs on just 2 hits, 3 errors, 1 man left on. Big hits in the inning, the RBI double by Michael Carpentier and the 2-run home run by Spencer Marenko. Three home runs in the game tonight for Yakima Valley, so it is no wonder they are leading the division in the West Coast League's north side. Coming into tonight with a record of 21-12 in West Coast League play. They're 30-12 overall in the summer, including 9-0 in non-league contests. By the way, Wenatchee and Yakima Valley still have some non-league games to go. First pitch here to Chase Graves is missing for a ball. 1-0 the count. Actually, new pitcher on the mound for the Wenatchee AppleSox as Jake was just telling us, one of the characters on the ball club, as this pitch is fouled down the right field line. Long run for the first baseman, Luke Stuka. He'll give it a look, but it'll go out of play, and the count even now to Chase Graves at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Haswell is done for the night. Just 1 inning. Allowed those 5 runs on 2 hits. And, boy, I don't think any of those were earned. They weren't. Because the first man got a warning and an error, and then it just kind of rattled after that. So Jasper Nelson on the mound now for the Wenatchee AppleSox, and this pitch is a strike. Maybe I should have had Jake stay around to tell us a few Jasper stories. 6'3", 195-pound right-hander out of Spokane Falls Community College. That pitch barely missed, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chase Graves. Graves in there because of an injured foot to Noah Williamson. We'll see if he's able to come back and play the rest of this weekend series. Swinging a foul at the plate, and the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jasper Nelson on the season for the Wenatchee AppleSox, making his 9th appearance of the summer as a 9.52 earned run average. A swing and a miss here, and gone on strikes is Chase Graves. So a nice job of getting the first out here in the 6th inning by Jasper Nelson. 1 inning for Martin Haswell, as we mentioned. He did give up 2 hits,
Now batting for the Yakima Valley Pippins,
5 runs, none of those earned. He did walk 2 and did get a strikeout, 1 strikeout. This pitch misses low to Michael Carpentier, 1-0 the count. Carpentier with an RBI double in the 5th. He also scored a run. He's 1 for 3 on the night for Yakima Valley. 1-0 the count. The pitch by Nelson swung on a foul back, and the count even now at 1 ball and 1 strike. AppleSox baseball here on the NCWLIFE Channel, brought to you by Global Car Care. Excellent customer service for imported, domestic, and diesel vehicles. Global Car Care, they speak your car's language. 1-1 the count to Carpentier. And the pitch by Jasper, and a swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch there, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Nelson looked like he kind of stumbled off of the rubber there. Quickly gets his foot back up on the edge of the rubber, kind of pitching from the third base side from the stretch, even though there's nobody on. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the right-hander's delivery is a curveball missing high and away for ball 2. 2-2 the count to Carpentier. First of 3 games, big weekend series. No matter what happens here tonight, 6:35 game time tomorrow, 5:35 on Sunday. Come out and support your Wenatchee AppleSox. 2-2 curveball misses away for ball 3. 3-2 the count. Jake Hughes mentioning that Jasper Nelson, originally from Las Vegas, he goes, well, you know, he's another one of those Vegas boys. This pitch swung on him, barely fouled down the third baseline, so the count stays at 3-2. Our broadcast tonight also brought to you by your Chelan County PUD. Get cash back for energy-saving improvements to your home and business. Visit chelanpud.org/save for details on how to spend less on better equipment. 3-2 with 1 out, nobody on here in the 6th, an 11-1 lead for Yakima Valley. And the 3-2 pitch again from Nelson, again swung on and fouled out of play, and the count stays at 3-2. Willie Lejoie due up next here for Yakima Valley. 6 walks given up by the Sox pitching staff so far. Jack Lee's line, by the way, 4 innings, 6 runs, 4 hits, 5 earned, struck out 5 and walked 4. He also hit 2 batters. Pitch swung on and right through the wickets of the first base coach. Nice hop over there for one of the assistant coaches for Yakima Valley. Coaching staff sounds familiar for Yakima Valley. Well, they were here in Wenatchee just a few years ago. Again, a 3-2 pitch from Nelson, swung on and again foul away. What an at-bat here between Michael Carpentier and Jasper Nelson. Of course, Kyle Crustangel, head coach, Cash Ulrich, is over there at first base. He's the one that did the dynamic jump of the ball coming his way. They both coached together in Wenatchee back in 2019. 3-2 count again. Here comes the pitch by Jasper. On the way to the plate, curveball. Oh my, just barely missing for ball 4. So what a battle there, and it's won by Carpentier. So one aboard with one out and brings up the first baseman, Willie Lajoie. Willie is 0 for 1 officially. He's walked twice and scored twice. He's also flown out to left field. So Lajoie steps up with a runner aboard and one down here in the 6th for Yakima Valley. Sox would love a double play ball. Fastball, strike, cold, and the count 0-1. We're talking about what's still to come for these teams on the schedule and the fact that they both have some non-league games coming up. In fact, we'll be here again next Friday for a non-league matchup for the Wenatchee AppleSox as they'll take on the Northwest All-Star Academy. I believe that's who they play next week. It is. We'll be here next Friday for that one. It's a quick 2-game series next week. Pitch to the plate, bounces in. Nice stop by Newman. Throw down first base. Not in time. 2-1 to count now to Lajoie. After the 3-game series here at home this weekend, Wenatchee will spend the mid part of next week at Bend taking on the Elks and then return home Friday and Saturday for quick 2-game non-league games against the Northwest Star Academy. This pitch swung on a rip to the left field. That's going to get out for a base hit. Runner from second is going to hold, and a nice throw from left field by Enzo Apodaca will hold the runners right there. So a long base hit down the line for Lajoie, his first hit of the ball game. Runners at first and second now for Yakima Valley. Brings up left fielder Alex Shanks. Shanks has been aboard twice. He brought in a run on a bases-loaded walk in the first. He struck out looking in the third and got aboard on an error on the shortstop in the 5th inning. Pitch to the plate, swung on and gets past the catcher, so everybody's got to move up 90 feet on the wild pitch. So Lajoie ends up at second, Carpentier at third, 0-1 to count to Alex Shanks. And takes a double play ball away, so the infield drawn in all the way around. The pitch to the plate, swung on and fouled back at a count 0-2 here to Shanks. Connor Cabales waiting on deck here for Yakima Valley. Jasper Nelson working from the stretch with runners at second and third. Pitch to the plate, swung on and fisted past the first baseman. Going to get down for a base hit, probably score 2. It will, and he won't be standing up, but a 2-run double here. Just fisted by Alex Shanks. Give him a couple of RBIs. And that extends the lead now to 13-1. As the infield drawn in, Luke Stuka just a little bit too far out of his reach and just bounces inside the chalk about 5 feet beyond the first base bag and then squibs out into right field. Connor Cabales now steps up as 2 runs are in, a runner at second base. Yakima Valley has scored in every inning but the third here tonight. First pitch misses for a ball to Connor Cabales. 1-0 the count. Cabales has an RBI. He walked and scored, and he hit into a fielder's choice and scored. This pitch is swung on and hit in the air to right field. That's going to drop down for a base hit. It's going to score another run. RBI for Cabales, his second of the night, as Shanks scores from second base. It's now 13-1. 3 more runs, should be 14-1 on the board. It is 14-1 now. And that'll bring up Corey Jarrell. Well, if you want to get fans to hang around for a weekend series, kind of tough when you have an opener like this one. Jarrell looking for his first base hit of the game. Takes the first pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Jarrell struck out in the first, grounded out to first in the third, and grounded out to second in the fourth. This pitch misses for a ball. 2-0 the count. Twice in this game, Yakima has brought 9 men to the plate in the first and then again in the fifth. Fifth man to the plate here in the sixth. Fastball misses inside for ball 3, 3-0 the count to Corey Jarrell. Jasper Nelson checks a runner at first, and the pitch to the plate is in there for a strike finally, and the count goes to 3-1. Nelson, we mentioned, with that 9.52 earned run average. His record 0-1 on the season. He does not have a save, making his 9th appearance of the summer for Wenatchee, and a ball 4 going to be called here to Jarrell, so he'll head down to first base. To second goes Connor Cabales. To Marenko. Well, Marenko's had an eventful night here for Yakima Valley. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. He's 3 for 4 in the contest. It's a way to up your average. That's for sure. Nelson's pitch to him. It bounces in for a ball, and the count 1-0 to Marenko. So left on the season for Wenatchee after tonight's game. $15 league games and 2 non-league games left on the schedule. So yeah, time is running out here in the 2021 campaign. Swinging a foul into the net behind home plate by Marenko evens the count at 1-1 strike. I mentioned midweek next week they'll be at Bend Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Return home Friday and Saturday to face the Northwest Star Academy. We'll have that game next Friday live here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Then they'll have their final home series of the summer, 6 games in a row at home against Port Angeles, 3 against Port Angeles, 3 against Cowlitz. Swinging a foul off of the catcher here, and the count goes to 1-2 strikes. And then Wenatchee will finish the summer on the road at Yakima Valley for 3 games, August 10th, 11th, and 12th. Just a note, too, that we have added that Cowlitz game on Friday, August 6th. There's a game we'll broadcast here on the NCWLIFE Channel after a game earlier this summer was sunned out with 119-degree temperatures. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Nelson on the way. It's outside for a ball. Yakima scored 4 runs on just 1 hit in the first. A run on a solo home run in the second. Did not score in the third. Scored a run in the fourth. Swing and a miss here. And gone swinging is Spencer Marenko for the second out of the inning. Good applause from the home crowd here. Brings up Chaz Myers. 5th inning was just an ugly one. 5 runs on 2 hits with 3 errors. And now 3 more runs here in the 6th to make it 14-1. Wenatchee's only run came in the second on an RBI single by Tino Bethencourt. And that is it for Wenatchee. This pitch swung on and hit on a hop to the second baseman, and Vanderbrake will throw to Stuka, and that will finally retire the side here for Yakima Valley. But the Pippins get 3 runs on 3 hits, a couple of men left on. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th, 14-1. AppleSox trailing it. You're watching Wenatchee Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Let's face it, selling your good used vehicle can be a hassle, if nothing else. Consign your vehicle here at Global Elite Motors. When you do, you'll get the best possible price because of our proprietary selling system. We offer the ability to finance, add warranties, take trade-ins, and much, much more. Each consignment vehicle we represent is thoroughly inspected and marketed to attract qualified buyers. Let us help sell your quality vehicle. Buying a vehicle? Consigning a vehicle? Stop by Global Elite Motors on Wenatchee Avenue at Global Car Care.
Our experience with NCWLIFE has been amazing.
People think television and they think it's this huge production thing. It's really expensive.
It's crazy how affordable it is. I couldn't believe it.
It's not as expensive as we thought it was going to be.
I would say I was really surprised to see that it was actually comparable to radio ads or print media.
It was really affordable.
Kenny Johnson will continue pitching for the Yakima Valley Pippins as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, and due up for the AppleSox here in the 6th is Adam Grobe, John Newman, and Luke Stuka in a 14-1 ball game with Yakima Valley in control here. Wenatchee still batting. As they always say, there's still a chance. Grobe's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. First pitch by Johnson here in the 6th is in there for a strike. 0-1 to count to Adam Grobe. Efficient work for Kenny Johnson here. Longest stretch of an inning he's faced was 6 batters in the 2nd when Wenatchee scored its only run. This pitch misses for a ball. 1-1 to count to Adam Grobe. 1-2-3 first, 1-2-3 third. 4 batters faced in the 4th and 4 in the 5th. Swing and a strike by Grobe here, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Apple Valley Honda, committed to preserving the environment not only with fuel-efficient vehicles but also with other eco-friendly actions and alternatives. The 1-2 pitch by Johnson on the way to the plate is strike 3 called. Gone looking is Adam Grobe, 2nd strikeout for him tonight, and for the first time tonight, first time in 6 innings, Wenatchee does not get the leadoff man aboard. That'll bring up catcher John Newman, who is 1 for 1. He walked and scored in the 2nd, singled to left center in the 4th. Apple Valley Honda, you can test drive the new Honda today at Apple Valley Honda in East Wenatchee. Apple Valley Honda, proud to be a Honda Green dealer. Find out more at Apple Valley Honda. First pitch to Newman is a strike. 0-1 to count. This pitch misses inside. In fact, hit him. So a hit batsman will start the frame for Newman. He'll go down to first base. And that'll bring up first baseman Luke Stuka. Stuka's 0 for the night with a grounder back to the pitcher in the 2nd. And he grounded out to the first baseman to start a double play in the 4th. Gorgeous night here at the ballpark. Very comfortable temperatures. The pitch to the plate is way outside. Nice job by Carpentier to snag that one. 1-0 the count. So the season winding down. AppleSox still with a chance to put themselves in a position for the playoffs, but boy, time is of the essence, that's for sure. 1-0 the count to Luke Stuka. We'll get a scoreboard update for you. This pitch goes all the way and hits the umpire. Meanwhile, down to first base on the throw goes the catcher Carpentier, and ouch, that hurts. I think it got the arm of the umpire, and we've seen that before here at Paul Thomas years ago in a game where the catcher missed on a fastball that hit the umpire in the forearm, and it broke his arm. That was ball 2 to Luke Stuka, by the way. And that hurts a lot. And you could hear flesh on that one. So not a fun situation here for our home plate umpire, Andrew Mervin. So while we have a moment here while they check out the umpire, which, by the way, if we lose the home plate umpire, they'll rotate Jordan Shepard in behind the plate. And I think we'll finish the game with just one umpire. I believe that's how that works. So we'll try to get an update on what's happening in the West Coast League. And we'll also see what's happening with the Seattle Mariners tonight against the Oakland A's with Yusei Kikuchi on the mound for Seattle. So we'll get to the scoreboard. And of course, we'll just skip right over the one that's happening here. Kind of a blowout in Port Angeles tonight as well. Top of the 6th inning there. Cowlitz is leading Port Angeles 12-3. Bellingham is leading Ridgefield. That's a surprise. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-1 Bells in that one. Walla Walla tonight, trailing Bend at home in the bottom of the 5th inning, 7-4, the score in that one. Fans giving a hand here to our home plate umpire, Andrew Mervin, who's going to stay in, but I'm sure he is a sore unit right now. That hit him on the right arm at somewhere. I'm not sure where exactly, but that got him pretty square, and that absolutely hurts. Count is 2-0, by the way. Luke Stuka with a runner at first base. Mariners in the top of the 5th inning are leading Oakland by a score of 3-2 tonight. Kikuchi has gone 4 2/3 in that one. Top of the 5th with a runner at first base for Oakland and 2 down. Mark Canna at the plate for the Athletics. Toss to the bag at first is not in time to get Newman over there. John, a catcher probably not known necessarily for his stolen base attempts in a 14-1 ball game. I don't know how many balls or how many bases he's going to try to steal. He's got 1 stolen base on the summer. This pitch swung on and hit in the air, and it's going to drop down for a base hit in shallow center field. Newman's going to hold up at second base on the play. So give a 1-out base hit to Stuka. Runners at first and second for Wenatchee. Brings up third baseman Tino Bethencourt. Tino, good night tonight. He's got a couple of base hits and an RBI.
Third baseman, number 8, Tino Bethencourt.
In fact, Tino came in batting .200 on the summer. He's helped himself with a couple of base hits tonight, and so too has Jackson Vandenbrink. A couple of base hits as well. So 2 on, 1 down for Wenatchee, trailing at 14-1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. As Kenny Johnson continues to pitch for Yakima Valley. Pitch to the plate here is a fastball strike called, and they count 0-1 on Bethencourt. Tino singled to right center for an RBI in the 2nd, and then singled in the 4th. Moved down to second base on an error. Pitch to the plate is low and outside for a ball, and now we can hear the AppleSox dugout trying to be a little vociferous below us. Help out their batters at the plate. 1-1 the count to Bethencourt. Runners will hold. And the pitch to Bethencourt is low and outside for ball 2. Our broadcast brought to you by your Chelan County PUD. Ready, check, launch. Download Chelan PUD's app at the chelanpud.org/app before heading out on the water. That's a pretty cool app. Tells you what the river flow is, what's happening with the dams if you head out on the water. Want to know how fast you'll be scooting down the Columbia River in our neck of the woods. 2-1 pitch is outside for ball 3. 3-1 to count. Decent crowd on hand here again tonight at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Here on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College, part of the Sandy Cooprider Athletic Complex. 3-1 count to Bethencourt. Runners will hold. Pitch swung on a miss. Hefty cut there by Bethencourt. The count full now at 3-2. Fires all around us. We've been fortunate here in the Wenatchee Valley this summer not to have the smoke really here in the valley. Of course, you know, you got to knock on wood when you say that. Poor Winthrop's got the worst air quality in the country right now. 3-2 pitch, strike 3 called. Gone looking as Bethencourt for the 2nd out. That's the 2nd strikeout by Kenny Johnson here in the 6th, and that'll bring up designated hitter Zach Toya. Toya is 0 for 1. He walked in the 2nd and popped foul to the pitcher to end the 4th. As Kenny Johnson ranged over in front of the netting over on the first base side. Made the catch and was so excited about making the catch, he immediately vaulted into the dugout to the happy hands of his teammates. First pitch here is a swing and a miss by Toya, 0-1 the count. So 2 more broadcasts coming up here of baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel. Next Friday against Northwest Star Academy, and then 2 Fridays from tonight against Cowlitz Black Bears. That'll end our broadcast summer. This pitch swung on and lifted in the air, and it's going to drop down for a base hit, rounding third. Coming home, here comes the throw home, and it's going to be late. Sliding head first safely is John Newman Jr. AppleSox cut the lead 14-2, giving an RBI to Zach Toya. Luke Stuka winds up down at second base on the play, and that'll bring up second baseman Jackson Vanderbrake. We mentioned a couple of base hits so far in the ball game for Vanderbrake.
Second baseman, number 5, Jackson Vanderbrake.
There is a right-hander beginning to warm up down to the bullpen for Yakima Valley, so we'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the health here of the starter, Kenny Johnson. Looks like it's Ryan Arredondo warming up down to the pen for the Pippins. First pitch here is in for a strike to Vanderbrake, 0-1 to count. Jackson's been swinging early in the count and has a couple of base hits to show for it. Let's see what he does here on an 0-1 pitch. He'll take strike 2. So for the first time here tonight, he's behind in the count. He delivered a 1-0 pitch to right field for a base hit in the second and swung at the first pitch to him in the fifth and singled to left. Now behind in the count, 0-2 with runners at first and second. 1 in, 2 outs. And Kenny Johnson, ready with the delivery to the plate, is inside, and it hit him. I believe the umpire is not calling a timeout. The runners will advance 90 feet. I thought that hit him. I thought I heard the back of his jersey get hit, but Vanderbrake didn't try to sell it at all. So I guess that's just a ball and a wild pitch and moves the runners up. So mark down as a wild pitch to remove Stuka to third, Toya to second, and the pitch to the plate swung on a fisted to right field. That's going to go foul. In on the hands, and he fought it off and fouled it down the right field line. Our broadcast here tonight on the NCWLIFE Channel brought to you in part by Global Car Care. Excellent customer service for imported, domestic, and diesel vehicles. Global Car Care, they speak your car's language. 1-2 the count to Vanderbrake. Apodaca waiting on deck, hoping for a shot here in the sixth, as Wenatchee trails at 14-2 now. And the pitch is a check swing. Did he go around? No, says the base umpire. And the count evens now to Vanderbrake at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The benefit of replay on Major League Baseball is certainly interesting when it comes to the check swings. Watching the Mariners game last night against Oakland, oh my, there were some things that were seemingly missed that on instant replay showed to me that they were absolutely missed. And then on review, missed in New York. 3-2 pitch on the way to Vanderbrake, swung on a hit on a chop, right past the second base bag into center field. 2 runs are going to score. And how about the night for Jackson Vanderbrake, the sophomore from Tacoma CC, comes through with a 2-out, 2-run hit. The AppleSox now trail at 14-4. Three base hits on the night for Jackson Vanderbrake. 3 runs in the 6th inning. That'll bring up left fielder Enzo Apodaca. And it might also bring in a new pitcher. Visit to the mound. Nope, they're going to leave Kenny Johnson in there. There's 2 outs in the inning. Apodaca is 0 for 1. He flew out to center in the second, walked in his last plate appearance in the 5th, but they're going to leave him in. Meanwhile, it looks like maybe somebody else headed down to the bullpen to start warming up. Let's see here. My aging eyes are not helping me much. It's definitely a 40-something. Looks maybe like a 46. Peyton Robertson out of Linden, Washington, Skagit Valley College product. Warming up now down in the bullpen for Yakima Valley. So the biggest inning of the game here offensively for Wenatchee with 3 runs in as Apodaca takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1 to count to Enzo. 7th man to the plate here for Wenatchee in this 6th inning. Finally, the AppleSox able to put up a crooked number after Yakima Valley's been living on the crooked numbers all night long. Pitch to the plate, swung up, popped up, and foul territory, and it's heading towards us here somewhere. Bounced just behind us past the grill, and the count goes to 0-2 on Enzo Apodaca. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Laura Mounter Real Estate, voted world's best realtor in the valley. Laura Mounter Real Estate. 0-2 the count to Apodaca. Enzo in the left-handed batter's box, ready. And the delivery by Johnson swung on and hit in the air. That's going to drop down for another base hit for the AppleSox. So the inning continues for Wenatchee. Just like we were talking with Jake Hughes earlier on our broadcast, you get down big, all you can do is just continue to chop away, and AppleSox try to chop away at that lead. With 3 runs in the inning, the 8th man will come to the plate in center fielder Michael O'Hara, who is 1 for 2 tonight. Walked, base hit to right, and hit into a double play in his last plate appearance in the 5th. Michael had a nice visit with Dan Kuntz last week on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. O'Hara back in the batter's box, and the first pitch misses high and inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Inning started on a strikeout by Grobe. Newman hit by a pitch. Stuka singled. And then Bethencourt struck out. So all this has come with 2 outs in the inning. RBI base hit by Toya. 2-run single by Vanderbreg. And now a single by Apodaca. Inning continues. 1-0 pitch to O'Hara, low for a ball. 2-0 the count. Well, if you've been battling the summer heat where temperatures have been over 90 degrees, it seems, every day since we started summer on June 21st. At a stretch there, we were averaging 98 degrees with a week of over 100 degrees. You know what the battle has been like to keep your lawn green around the Wenatchee Valley. This pitch misses low for a ball. 3-0 the count to O'Hara. Pitch away from loading up the bases is Kenny Johnson here. And as we look out at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, there's some problems with that as well, with some brown spots around where the sprinklers have just not kept up with the heat. It's interesting. You go down the foul territory past the AppleSox dugout, and it's a swamp. 3-0 pitch to O'Hara. He takes all the way for a strike, and the count now 3-1. Sure was fun having my dad on the broadcast here last Friday. Thanks to Mark Neal on the phone call. Appreciate that. Talking about the king in his court and helping me with remembering the gentleman's name, as well as it was 4 players. This pitch swung on and hit in the air and past the second baseman. Going to drop down for a base hit. Another run's going to score. How about the AppleSox with a 2-out, 4-run rally here, making a 4-run rally in the 6th inning. RBI for O'Hara, just over the glove of Spencer Marenko as Vanderbreg scores on the play. Apodaca ends up down at third base, and the 9th man will come to the plate in Dakota Duffalo, but before he can, they are going to pull the pitcher, and we'll take a break as well. With a pitching change being made, it's 14-5 now, as Wenatchee tries to get their way back into this one. We'll come back with more here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium after this. You're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
With PUD rebates, we'll give you money to upgrade your house and reduce your energy footprint.
The rebates are real. Visit conservationmakessense.org to learn more.
Hi, I'm Shauna Larson. I'm the designated broker here at Laura Mounter Real Estate. We are a locally owned firm, and we've worked hard to earn our reputation of always doing business the right way. Laura Mounter Real Estate is continually investing in the best technologies and highest quality marketing. For these reasons, our community has voted us the world's best real estate office for the past 5 years. If you have real estate needs, let a Laura Mounter Real Estate agent show you the difference.
Well, Kenny Johnson goes 5 2/3, just can't get the final out here in the 6th inning. He's responsible for the 2 on the base paths here, as Wenatchee has scored 5 runs, all with 2 outs here in the 6th inning, as Dakota Duffalo will face the new pitcher, and that is Linden's Peyton Robertson, 6'1", 175-pound right-hander, sophomore at Skagit Valley College, taking over on the mound now. The numbers on Robertson this summer, making his 8th appearance. He has 1 start this summer in 15 1/3 innings, has 13 earned runs on 24 hits, ERA at 6.3, 8 strikeouts and 10 walks. So Peyton Robertson takes over for Kenny Johnson, again responsible for O'Hara at first base and Apodaca at third base. Meanwhile, the Sox will try to continue with the hitting streak here, as all of these runs have come with 2 outs here in the frame. RBI single by Zach Toya, 2-run single by Jackson Vanderbrink. RBI for Michael O'Hara. Duffalo looking for his first hit tonight. Hit into a double play, 4-6-3 on the first. Struck out in the third and then flew out to right in the 5th. First pitch to him on the way from Peyton Robertson in relief. High and almost hit him. 1-0 the count to Robertson, or to Duffalo. We'll get another update on the Mariners as well as the rest of the West Coast League coming up. Long ball game here tonight. A lot of crooked numbers on the board. This pitch is an off-speed pitch taken for a strike, and the count even to Duffalo at 1-1. Trying to get an update on the Mariners. It's top of the 6th now, all tied at 3-3 at T-Mobile Park between Seattle and Oakland. Swing and a foul back here by Duffalo, and the count goes to 1-2 on Dakota. Get an update on what's happening in the West Coast League here tonight. Cowlitz now leading Port Angeles at the top of the 7th, 14-3 in that one. Bellingham top of the 8th, leading Ridgefield at home tonight, 3-1. Bend on top of Walla Walla. The Sweets trying to come back in this one. Bottom of the 6th now. It's 7-5 in that one. Scores around the West Coast League here tonight. 14-5 here with 4 runs in this frame for the AppleSox at a 1-2 count to Dakota Duffalo. Peyton Robertson with the pitch on the way to the plate, to swung on a foul back, staying alive is Duffalo. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Mini Blinds and More. They specialize in custom blinds, shades, draperies, exterior awnings, exterior sunscreens, unmatched customer service too at Mini Blinds and More. Apodaca at third, O'Hara at first, and a 1-2 count to Duffalo. And the pitch on the way by Robertson is swung on, and barely getting a piece of that to foul it back was Dakota Duffalo. Duffalo second on the team in hitting, coming in with a .291 average. With more than 10 games under his belt. He's in his 30th game for Wenatchee. Came into tonight with 103 plate appearances. He's 0 for the night so far. This pitch swung on a lifted foul down the first baseline, but it's in foul territory, and that's going to be caught by the first baseman. So a pop foul out to first will be the final out. But Wenatchee gets 4 runs in the frame On 1, 2, 3, 4 base hits, they leave 2 men. We'll head to the 7th frame. 14-5 our score now. Yakima Valley on top. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Stretches right around the corner.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Jasper Nelson will come out and pitch again here in the 7th for the AppleSox. Due up for Yakima Valley. Sam Olson is Chase Graves and Michael Carpentier. The lineup, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Yakima Valley in a 14-5 crooked number night here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. 3 home runs on the night here for the Pippins. Oh, we mentioned that earlier. If you didn't know what a Pippin is, do you know? Any guess? Well, if you look at their logo, that'll give you a clue. The Pippins have kind of an angry apple as their logo. This pitch swung on, smothered at second base. Vanderbrake is not able to keep it corralled, however. That's going to be a base hit by Sam Olson on a sharp ground ball past Jackson Vanderbrake. And a leadoff man aboard in the 7th here for the Pippins. That'll bring up Chase Graves, who is 0 for 3 in his substitution for Noah Williamson, who took a ball off of his foot on a hit batsman back in the 1st frame, and he was not able to go after that. And so Chase Graves came in and has been in since the 2nd inning. Has 3 plate appearances, popped out to left in the 2nd, got aboard on an error and scored in the 5th, and struck out in the 6th. AppleSox have a right-hander warming up down in the bullpen. We'll tell you who that is coming up after we tell you what a Pippin is. A Pippin, according to my research anyway, is a dessert apple. So it's an apple, which makes sense, you know, Yakima. Sure. So the Yakima Valley Pippins celebrating the apple. Just like the AppleSox celebrating the apple. 1-0, missed outside, 2-0 the count to Chase Graves. Sam Olson aboard on a leadoff base hit at first base. And a 2-0 count to Graves here by Jasper Nelson. The right-hander's delivery swung on a chop foul, and on a hot, Kyle Crustangel fields that one. Count goes to 2-1 on Chase Graves. Try to get the number on the body down in the bullpen for Wenatchee. Looks like a number 14 warming up. This pitch swung on and hit in the air. Shortstop. Oh, he's able to make the grab. Nice job by Adam Grobe. It has been an adventure for the left side of the infield defensively for Wenatchee tonight, but he's able to ice cream cone catch that soft line out. 1 out here in the 7th. Brings up catcher Michael Carpentier.
Catcher number 55, Michael Carpentier Jr.
So Tyler Chipman, I believe, is warming up down in the bullpen for Wenatchee. Cashmere's own Tyler Chipman. Pitch is a check swing. He did not go, says the umpire, and so it's 1-0 the count to Michael Carpentier, who has a double and an RBI. He also has walked and scored twice, has a pop-out and a strikeout. So an adventuresome night at the plate for Carpentier. Big gap in the right side of the infield. This pitch misses high and away for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Carpentier. Our broadcast also brought to you by One Way Construction. Your project, your way. Call 509-679-3256 today, online at onewayconstruction.com. 2-0 to Carpentier in the left-handed batter's box against the righty on the mound. And the pitch to the plate is again missing away for ball 3. That's one thing I forgot to ask Jake Hughes, who joined us on the broadcast earlier. Thanks to Jake for doing that. Is about that time when, you seem like you're throwing strikes, seem like you're controlling the strike zone, and then suddenly you just can't find a strike. You just can't throw a strike. Swing and a miss here. So green lit was Carpentier on a 3-0 count, and the count now goes to 3-1. He was looking for the 4th home run of the night for Yakima Valley. Again, our score 14-5, 11 hits per side here. So it has been, a lot of offense, not a lot of defense here tonight. 3-1 pitch, swung on a miss, and the count runs full now at 3-2. Sam Olson led the inning off with a base hit. He's over there at first base. Chase Graves with a soft line out to the shortstop, Adam Grobe. Now a 3-2 count to Michael Carpentier. Jasper ready, and the pitch to the plate is high and away for ball 4. Second inning of relief for Nelson, and that is his 3rd walk in relief for Wenatchee.
Now batting.
And a lot of walks here tonight. Let's see, 6, 7, 8 walks so far for the AppleSox. Make that 9 walks. It's the 3rd walk given up by Jasper in relief here for the AppleSox. Willie Lajoie now steps up. He's had a big night. A couple of hits, scored 3 times. First pitch taken for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Lajoie. L-A, capital J-O-I-E. French background for Lajoie. The 1-0 pitch to him, swung on a fly ball to left center. Backing up is O'Hara. He will circle under this one. The runner from second will tag, and into third base, standing up, is Sam Olson. So a fly out to center for Lajoie. Second out of the frame. Staying at first is Carpentier. So runners on the corners with 2 down for the Pippins brings up Alex Shanks. Shanks has 3 RBIs in the game. He has a double, got aboard on an error, walked, and struck out. So a little bit of everything for just about every batter in the lineup here for the Pippins in this one. First pitch to Shanks on the way is high and got him to bend out of the way. 1-0 the count to Alex Shanks. In fact, let me look here. One here, one here. One there, one there, one there, one there. So Corey Jarrell and Sam Olson, no, Corey Jarrell and Chase Jones, or Chase Graves, excuse me. The only 2 in the lineup here for the Pippins that don't have base hits here tonight. This pitch swung on a hit hard. That's going to be a fair ball down the left field line. That scores 1, maybe more, as Apodaca will come up with a ball on an RBI double down the line, laced by Alex Shanks. That's his 2nd double in a row, his 4th RBI of the night, and it's 15-5.
Now batting for the Yakima Valley Pippins.
Carpentier winds up at third base on the play, and that'll bring up shortstop Connor Caballas. Caballas with a base hit and an RBI in his last plate appearance in the 6th. And here we go, Yakima Valley scoring again. The only frame they have not scored was the 3rd when they were retired in order. Swing and a foul back by Caballas here. 0-1 the count. Caballas was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the 1st. That brought home a run. He walked and scored in the 4th. Hit into a fielder's choice and scored in the 5th, and had an RBI single to left center in the 6th. So 1 for 2 officially on the night for Caballas. And the 0-1 count to him here with Jasper Nelson. A deep breath, and the pitch to the plate is a curveball in there for a strike, and the count 0-2 on Cabales. "15 runs on 12 base hits and 1 error for Yakima Valley. 5 runs, 11 hits, and 3 errors on the night for Wenatchee. Swing and a foul at the plate. The count stays at 0-2 on Cabales. Sangster Motors helping to bring you the broadcast tonight. Home of the all-electric Hummer EV and SUV. Order yours now at Sangster Motors. The American Challenge is on. 0-2 the count. Fans with a patter of applause to support Jasper Nelson. And the pitch swung on and hit on the air and going to be caught in the air by Jackson Vanderbrake. And that'll do it here for Yakima Valley in the 7th. So the fans will take their stretch here at the ballpark, and Yakima Valley's extended the lead here as they add another one on. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th after a stretch. Kids will come out and sing in the choir, and we'll stretch our legs as well. Come back after this. You're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön. With PUD rebates, we'll give you money to upgrade your house and reduce your energy footprint.
The rebates are real. Visit conservationmakessense.org to learn more.
Hey, all you kayakers, suppers, fisher people, boaters, and splish splashers. Water levels can change quickly. But don't worry, we've got an app for that. It's called Current. Check it out in the App Store and in Google Play. Hey, all you kayakers, suppers, fisher people, boaters, and splish splashers. Water levels can change quickly. But don't worry, we've got an app for that. It's called Current. Check it out in the App Store and in Google Play.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
Adam Groves starts it off here for the AppleSox, takes the first pitch for a ball. The second pitch is swung on and hit hard but foul down the left field line, and that will head past the Pepsi Picnic Pavilion here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Say that 6 times fast in the count, even to Grove at 1 ball and 1 strike. AppleSox trail it here 15-5. John Newman, Luke Stuka also due up here in the 7th inning for the AppleSox. 1-1 the count to Adam Grobe, and the pitch by Peyton Robertson is in there for a strike, and the count now a ball and 2 strikes. AppleSox Baseball brought to you by Save Mart. Shop smart, shop local, providing outstanding value and service since 1962. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way to the plate. Swung on and hit in the air to left field, but this is going to be right at Alex Shanks out there. I don't even think he had to move his feet. So 1 up, 1 down for Wenatchee here in the bottom of the 7th. And that'll bring up John Newman Jr. John scored a couple of times tonight. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game. His 2 times he scored, he got aboard on free passes. Once he was walked, and the other time hit by a pitch, but he scored on both of those. So 1 for 1 night for John Newman, and the first pitch to him by Peyton Robertson is a swing and a miss. Again, fans, don't forget, tomorrow night, back here again at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, 6:35 between Yakima and Wenatchee, and they'll wrap up the series on Sunday at 5:35 here at the ballpark. The 0-1 pitch on the way is low for a ball. Go to AppleSox.com to find out more about tickets, or you could just buy your tickets when you walk up to the ballpark. Things are wide open here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed by Newman. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Luke Stuka warming up on deck for Wenatchee. 1-2 pitch to Newman is a little bit outside. Boy, didn't miss by much. Evens the count to Newman at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I tell you what, even though AppleSox have been behind in this one ever since the get-go and have been behind big time in this one, the dugout below me is still making a bunch of racket, trying to help each other out. This pitch swung and grounded on a hop, 2 hops to Connor Cabalas. Throw over to first base off the mark, but nice stretch over there by Willie Lejoie. 6-3 on the putout. 2 outs for the AppleSox. Brings up the first baseman, Luke Stuka. Stuka is 1 for 3 tonight. Grounded back to the pitcher, back to the first baseman, and singled to center and scored in the 6th. Get you some other scores here in the West Coast League. Boy, Callett's really pouring it on Port Angeles now in the top of the 8th inning. Swing and a miss here by Stuka, 0-1 to count. It's now 18-3 in the top of the 8th inning. Callett's over Port Angeles. Bellingham, that's gone final now. The Bells knock off Ridgefield 3-1. So Raptors have lost 2 in a row after winning 6 straight. This pitch misses low for a ball. 1-1 to count to Luke Stuka with 2 down and nobody on here in the 7th. The pitch by Robertson bounces in for a ball. Bend holding on to a lead in Walla Walla tonight. That's in the bottom of the 7th. 7-5 the score in that one. We'll get a Mariner score for you coming up in just a moment. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on a hit hard but foul up the first baseline. 2-2 the count. Top of the 7th in Seattle, still tied at 3-3. Eric Swanson now has relieved, I should say, Yusei Kikuchi on the mound for Seattle. In a 3-3 ball game between the A's and the Mariners. This pitch misses for a ball, so Stuka with a good at-bat here. 3-2 count. Tino Bethancourt hoping for an opportunity here in the 7th inning. Waits on deck. Peyton Robertson's 3-2 pitch to the plate, swung on and fouled back by Stuka, and the count remains at 3-2. Again, Robertson with 3-2 pitch, swung on a miss, and that'll do it for Wenatchee as they're retired in order here in the 7th. To the 8th inning we'll go. It's a 15-5 ball game. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers were following Brian since Brian's automotive time.
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
Building. It's in our blood. Building something out of nothing. It takes heart, grit, and hard work. At One Way Construction, our crew is our family. With decades of contracting experience and our in-house design team, we bring a unique perspective to building. We know that if we work together, we are capable of reaching heights that are impossible to reach alone. The possibilities are endless.
Jasper Nelson will continue to pitch for the AppleSox here in the 8th inning. Third pitcher for the night, following Jack Lee and Martin Haswell, as he'll face the 9-1 and 2 batters for Yakima Valley. Only one time have the AppleSox been able to retire the Pippins in order, and also one inning tonight have been able to keep the Pippins off the scoreboard. That's all the way back in the 3rd, as Corey Jarrell will lead it off here in the 8th. He'll see Jasper Nelson for the first time in relief, and the pitch swung on and ripped to center field. Back on it, though, goes O'Hara. Had a spy on that one ever since it left the bat. And a line out to center field is our first out here in the 8th on one pitch, and that'll bring up second baseman Spencer Marenko. The night for Spencer has been a special one. Spencer has 2 home runs on the night. He has 4 RBIs on the night, has scored twice, and is 3 for 5 at the plate. He's also lined out and struck out in his last plate appearance in the 6th. I guess this will be the 3rd inning of relief here for Jasper Nelson. So, second time that he'll face Spencer Marenko, and the first pitch to Marenko is taken for a strike, 0-1 to count. So Bellingham with the win tonight improves to 6-7 in the second half. Swing and a miss here by Marenko, and the count goes to 0-2. Walla Walla is trailing. Port Angeles getting whipped up on tonight, as far as the North Division is concerned in the West Coast League. The 0-2 pitch on the way to the plate bounces in. Went about 58 feet. And that count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count to Spencer Marenko with 1 down here in the 8th inning. Nobody aboard. And the pitch by Jasper Nelson on the way misses away for ball 2. Again, next broadcast here on the NCWLIFE Channel will be next Friday, as the Northwest Star Academy will come to town to take on the AppleSox. 6:30 pregame, 6:35 first pitch next Friday right here on the NCWLIFE Channel. The 2-2 pitch is bouncing in again. Nice stop by John Newman, and the count goes to 3-2 to Marenko. So Jasper was ahead of Marenko, 0-2, but now has the count full at 3-2. Chaz Myers waiting on deck. Marenko back in the right-handed batter's box, and the right-hander on the mound's delivery to the plate is low and away for ball 4. So a man aboard with 1 down for Yakima Valley. That walk, by the way, is the make that 4th for Jasper Nelson in relief for the AppleSox. Chaz Myers steps up after a home run in his first plate appearance. He's got a base hit since. He's also struck out, got aboard on an error, and grounded out to second in his last plate appearance back in the 6th. Sox would love to get a double play ball here to get out of the inning. This pitch is a fastball across the outside portion of the plate for a strike. 0-1 the count to Chaz Myers out of the University of Pacific. A lot of California-based baseball players and collegiates here representing both sides here tonight. The 0-1 pitch is a little bit low for a ball. 1-1 the count. As we mentioned, Jasper Nelson out of Las Vegas, going to Spokane Falls Community College. I wonder if that's a family hookup that got him up to Spokane out of Las Vegas. I gotta imagine so. This pitch swung on and popped up into right field. It's a long run, and who's gonna get it? It will be the right fielder, Dakota Duffalo. 2 down here in the 8th. That'll bring up designated hitter Sam Olson. Olson a base hit in his last plate appearance.
Yakima Valley Pippins. Designated hitter number 3, Sam Olson.
He's also struck out tonight, hit into a double play, walked and scored twice. So 1 for 4 night for Sam Olson, who steps up with a runner at first base in Spencer Marenko. Pitch by Jasper on the way, swung on and fouled away, and the count 0-1. Hey! Joel Norman joining us here on the broadcast. What are you doing down here?
I figured I'd swing by to see how you were down here. Plus, I just love your view that you've got, Eric.
Isn't this fun?
This is a really unique spot. Even in a game like this, it's fun being down here.
Yes. Had a great visit. Thanks for helping hook that up. The pitch gets away from Newman and goes all the way to the backstop. So a wild pitch will move Marenko down to second base. But Jake Hughes came by, visited for a few innings. Great kid.
Absolutely.
Good visit with him. And unfortunately, he's got a little car trouble before he can get out of town.
But we've got a lot of people in town who can help him out. That's the beauty of it, Eric.
But he had high praise for the host family situation he's been in, and well-spoken young man. So thanks for helping to make that happen.
Not a problem. Happy to have him. He's a great kid, like you said. He had a great outing last night. It was just fun to watch him work. He's had some up and down moments this year, but it was really fun to see him deal on the rubber last night. 8 strikeouts in 6 innings.
Yeah, what a pitcher's duel it was, that's for sure. And I asked him about that, if he kind of gets his juices flowing when he's looking across the diamond at the other guy who's throwing 14 strikeouts on the night. Swinging a miss here, speaking of strikeouts, and that'll do it. Are you able to stay? Or
I will stay for an inning. How about that?
The radio voice of the AppleSox, Joel Norman, joining us. And Yakima Valley, hey, for the second time tonight, kept off the scoreboard. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning in a 15-5 ball game. Back with more after this. You're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Yes, we would all love to have a crystal ball to tell us precisely where the local economy and real estate market is headed in 2021 and in the near future. However, what we do have here at NCWLIFE Channel are local experts we connect with every week to give us the inside scoop on all you need to know about your home and our local real estate market. Join me each week while we find out what's happening in the greater Wenatchee Valley. I'm your host, Crystal Hughes, and you are watching At Home with NCWLIFE.
If Bigfoot can get cash back with a PUD rebate on heat pump water heaters, so can you. The rebates are real. Save $800 on your next water heater. Visit conservationmakesense.org to learn more. If Bigfoot can get cash back with a PUD rebate on new insulation, so can you. The rebates are real. Visit conservationmakesense.org to learn more.
We head to the bottom of the 8th. Tino Bethencourt, Zach Toya, and Jackson Vanderbreg do up here for the AppleSox, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Apple Valley Honda, committed to preserving the environment not only with fuel-efficient vehicles but also with other eco-friendly actions and alternatives. Test drive a new Honda today at Apple Valley Honda in East Wenatchee. Apple Valley Honda, proud to be a Honda Green dealer. AppleSox trail at 15-5. A lot of crooked numbers here tonight as Joel Norman, the radio voice of the AppleSox, joins us. You hear him on Sunny FM, both home and away. First pitch taken for a strike. 0-1 the count to Tino. I was mentioning Tino and Jackson. They've kind of struggled, but have had good games here tonight.
Oh, that's been the nice thing here tonight. Those were two guys who were due for big nights, and Vanderbreg has been so solid defensively all year.
Swinging a foul on the first base side. It's going to be close to playable. And, oh, my, what a play by Willie Lajoie. And, well, it's one of those nights, too, where you just can't get a break, it seems.
It's when they hit the AppleSox hit into their third double play of the night, that's when I knew. The scoreboard didn't tell me. That's what told me.
Absolutely.
And that's just another sign.
Absolutely. Well, Joel, we got 2 more games, and, you know, you flush this one. I talked to Jake about that when he was on the broadcast, and we were down, big at that time, not quite the 10 runs it is now. But I said, what do you do as a player? He goes, you just forget it.
Yep.
Just forget it, move on to the next day. First pitch here is in for a strike called to Zach Toya, who is 1 for 2 tonight with a base hit, an RBI, scored a run. AppleSox had a good inning back in the 6th. They brought 9 men to the plate, scoring 4 runs. This pitch goes all the way to the backstop, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 2 more games to go.
Yep.
Still that opportunity in front of them. And talk a little bit more about that, Joel, with the postseason in Yakima Valley, the team they're playing this weekend. They've already won. They're already in the postseason. Again, explain to us how that works here for the second half.
Yeah, it's really complicated. That one looks like it just missed.
Yep.
The way it works is Yakima Valley has won the first half already, as you mentioned. If they win the second half as well, obviously they don't get 2 playoff berths.
Right.
So the playoff berth goes to the team with the next best overall record.
low and outside for ball. 3-1 the count to Toya.
So entering tonight's ball game, the AppleSox are a game and a half back of the second best overall record.
Okay.
They're a game out of second.
That's where it's confusing for fans because right now you go to the website and you see second half standings. And so you think, oh, well, if Wenatchee finishes second in the second half, check swing, he went around, says the umpire, and that runs the count full at Toya at 3-2. But it's the second best overall record for the entire season, which Bellingham coming into tonight had that in the North Division standings.
That's correct. So the AppleSox are right there in the midst of things, but they've got to get some games to improve that.
3-2 count to Toya, swung on and fouled down the left field line, and that's well out of play. Bellingham surprised Ridgefield tonight. I was 3-1.
I was surprised about that too. Bellingham's got a solid club. They started the year a little slow. I mean, we've seen this with the AppleSox in the past. When Crust Angel was head coach, you kind of had to wait a few years for all your guys to get in. And that was the case for Bellingham. That's how the AppleSox took 2 of 3 against them earlier.
Toya swings and grounds this one to the shortstop. Cabalas is there. Will scoop and throw in time for the out. So 2 up, 2 down for the AppleSox. That'll bring up Jackson Vanderbrink. And how about the night for Jackson? Sophomore out of Tacoma CC, has 3 hits and 3 plate appearances, has a run, has a couple of RBIs. You got to feel good for a kid that came in struggling on the season.
He puts together incredible at-bats. And you know how you know that? You look at his on-base percentage. And almost at 400. He draws a lot of walks. 2 nights ago in Walla Walla, he's in an 11-pitch at-bat, fouling him away. He would go down swinging, but, sometimes the plate appearances haven't told the whole story with him.
Takes the first pitch for a strike here in the count 0-1. You get a chance to talk to Kyle at all before the ball game?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Kyle
he was
Crust Angel, the former AppleSox manager, now taking care of things. And yeah, come on. The 0-1 pitch on the way to Vanderbrink is swung on a miss in the count 0-2.
Yeah, he had great things to say. He said it was exciting to be back in Wenatchee. Obviously, knowing him, he's competitive. He wanted to do about what they've done tonight.
Yeah.
You don't blame him. The way they've been playing, you want to keep that fire all year. But it was really nice catching up with him. We're really grateful for his time with the AppleSox. Brought a lot of energy back, especially in 2019.
Absolutely. Getting in the playoffs and taking on Victoria and that close.
3 outs away.
Oh, man. 0-2 pitch on the way to the plate here is bouncing in all the way to the backstop. The count of ball and 2 strikes down to Vanderbrink with Enzo Apodaca waiting on deck, hoping for a shot here in the 8th inning. Sox trailing at 15-5, and we still got 2 games to go.
I've been proud of the crowd and the dugout tonight, though. I was talking about that earlier. This is these fans will stay till the end. That's what always amazes me about them.
Well, and a good crowd on hand tonight with Schlamp night.
Yep.
I appreciate the support to the AppleSox. You look around the ballpark here at the outfield wall and all the sponsor billboards out here and everything. It takes that to make it happen, especially it took it to make it happen to carry over after no season last year.
Absolutely, and we're so grateful to our sponsors. And, we're always looking for new ones, obviously, and we love the connection they have with us.
Ooh, he took that pitch and evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. By the way, Andrew Mervin back behind the plate took a ball to the forearm, it looked like, earlier, and he stayed in there. And I know he's got to be a hurting unit right now.
It was his wrist, it looked like.
Was it? Okay.
Yep.
This pitch swung on and fisted in the air to shallow right center. Spencer Marenko, the second baseman, will go out and make the catch for the outs. Well, Joel, thanks for stopping by.
Good seeing you, Eric.
Good to see you as
Thanks for broadcasting this.
The radio voice with Sunny FM, Joel Norman, as the AppleSox head to the 9th inning of play, trailing at 15-5. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel. Thanks, Joel.
The Wenatchee Valley. Here, most of us really enjoy the great outdoors, and most of us try to make the most of our natural resources. Here at Apple Valley Honda, we know that for generations, we have harnessed nature to sustainably power the West, and we are proud to be part of that tradition as an environmentally green dealership award winner. Being a green dealership means Apple Valley Honda has reduced our overall environmental impact. We are so proud to live in this wonderful community.
Hi everybody, in North Central Washington, I'm Dan Kuntz, and I do the honors each and every weekday morning at 7 a.m. to bring you live local news, local weather, local sports. It's called Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's a fun show. I enjoy doing it. I invite you to watch it. It's Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. live right here on the NCWLIFE Channel. I interview movers and shakers. We have a good time. Start your day live and local. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley right here with yours truly on the NCWLIFE Channel.
So to the ninth inning we go. Chase Graves, Michael Carpentier, and Willie Lajoie do up here for the Yakima Valley Pippins in a 15-5 ball game. Yakima Valley in control early on in this one, scoring 4 runs in the first, and it's been all Yakima since then. And unfortunately, I don't think we can get a camera angle on it right now, but the moon is rising, and it is full, and it is huge, and it is absolutely gorgeous here tonight, as a little smoke in the horizon has cast a yellow hue on a full moon here over the Wenatchee Valley. Unbelievable. 1-0 the count to Chase Graves. Again, he came in for Noah Williamson after Williamson was hit on the foot by a pitch. Swing and a miss here, and the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Graves. Graves one of 2 Pippins tonight that do not have a hit in the ball game. He's 0 for 4 in the contest here tonight. The 1-1 pitch is a swing and a foul back, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Chase Graves. Our broadcast brought to you by Apple Valley Honda and the Chelan County PUD. Ready, check, launch. Download Chelan PUD's app at chelanpud.org/app before heading out on the water. Due up for the AppleSox in the ninth, Enzo Apodaca, Michael O'Hara, and Dakota Duffalo, the 9, 1, and 2 batters in the order. Nelson's 1-2 pitch swung on and hit the air, and who's going to gather this one? It'll be right fielder Dakota Duffalo calling for it and making the catch for the out. So 1 out in the 9th inning for Yakima Valley, as the catcher Michael Carpentier Jr. will head to the plate. How many times, and I don't remember seeing this maybe ever, do you have 2 juniors that are catching for either team? You've got John Newman Jr. for the AppleSox and Michael Carpentier Jr. catching for the Yakima Valley Pippins. I don't know I've ever seen that before. Fastball misses inside for ball 1 to Carpentier here, who is 1 for 3 on the night with a double, an RBI, 2 runs scored. He's also walked a couple of times ago with a strikeout and a pop-out. 1-0 the count to him here as Jasper Nelson tries to finish it off for the AppleSox. Strike called on the outside corner. Count evens to Carpentier at 1-1. No matter what happens in the 9th inning, we will not go down to the field for postgame in a wide margin here. I'm sure that Coach Ian Sanderson would rather get the field cleaned up, get his boys ready to go for another night here at Paul Thomas tomorrow night at 6:35. 1-2 the count to Carpentier as he fouls that one back. I know our camera folks, our van man and the studio host are all excited about that not having a postgame show. 1-2 count to Carpentier. And this one bounces in for a ball, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, long one here tonight. We started the broadcast just about 3 hours ago, so we are about exactly 3 hours old on this. Well, the broadcast started 3 hours and 7 minutes ago, but the first pitch was about exactly 3 hours ago. This pitch swung on a hit hard, but fouled down the right field line and out of play. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So again, we hope you come out and support the AppleSox here the next 2 nights at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. 6:35 game time tomorrow, 5:35 on Sunday. The boys will, and it's amazing, you know, the youth today and their ability just to forget. They just forget. 15-5, whatever. We'll forget about it. Come back tomorrow and beat them. 2-2 pitch to the plate. Swung on and hit in the air. This is going to be trouble. As the shortstop, Adam Grobe's going to collect that one out in shallow center field. Nice play by Grobe. It's a couple of plays for him tonight defensively. That'll bring up Willie Lajoie. Lajoie has scored 3 times tonight, has a base hit to go with a couple of flyouts and a couple of walks.
Number 27.
So Lajoie steps up. He flew out to center in his last plate appearance in the 7th. And we'll see with that moon getting a little bit taller if maybe our cameras can capture it before we head into the bottom of the 9th inning tonight. My perspective, I can see it really well, but I guess our cameras maybe not necessarily. 0-1 to count to LaJoie here as Jasper Nelson delivers the 0-1 pitch, low for a ball. 1-1 to count. Appreciate Joel Norman, voice of the AppleSox on radio, joining us here on the broadcast tonight. Don't forget, you can listen to him on Sunny FM, 93.9 in Wenatchee, 98.1 in East Wenatchee, 95.3 in Lake Chelan. The 1-1 pitch to the plate is a check swing, and he held up, and the count goes 2-1 to LaJoie. Also up in the Brewster area, you can hear Sunny FM at 101.3. Okanagan Valley at 101.9. Omak, Tanascan, and Orville at 97.7. The Methow Valley at 106.3. All over North Central Washington for Sunny FM and AppleSox baseball on the radio. 3-1 to count now to LaJoie. Sox have been able to retire Yakima in order once tonight. That was back in the third. See if Nelson can do it here in the ninth. The 3-1 pitch is low for ball 4. Boy, that didn't miss by much. Nice job of framing it by John Newman Jr., but LaJoie aboard with a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Alex Shanks. Shanks with a couple of doubles back-to-back in his last 2 plate appearances. He's got 4 RBIs on the night. He's the second of the Pippins with 4 ribbies. Spencer Marenko also with 4 RBIs. So Shanks in there, and the first pitch to him is swung on and fouled back, and the count 0-1. I was hoping to do some fishing this weekend. I got boat problems. Full moon tonight. Fishing would be lousy anyway. So there's a reason why I can't go fishing this weekend. At least that's what I'll tell myself. 0-1 pitch on the way here is in there for a strike, and the count 0-2 to Alex Shanks. Crowd giving a good hand to Jasper Nelson, trying to help him out through the ninth here. Keep Yakima off the scoreboard for the second straight inning. Here comes the pitch to the plate, is a check swing. He went around and gone on strikes is Alex Shanks. That'll do it for Yakima Valley in the ninth. To the bottom of the ninth we go. Last chance for Wenatchee. Do they have the hitting shoes to do it? They trail at 15-5. We're back next here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Let's face it, selling your good used vehicle can be a hassle, if nothing else. Consign your vehicle here at Global Elite Motors. When you do, you'll get the best possible price because of our proprietary selling system. We offer the ability to finance, add warranties, take trade-ins, and much, much more. Each consignment vehicle we represent is thoroughly inspected and marketed to attract qualified buyers. Let us help sell your quality vehicle. Buying a vehicle? Consigning a vehicle? Stop by Global Elite Motors on Wenatchee Avenue at Global Car Care.
Our experience with NCWLIFE has been amazing.
People think television and they think it's this huge production thing. It's really expensive.
It's crazy how affordable it is. I couldn't believe it.
It's not as expensive as we thought it was going to be.
I would say I was really surprised to see that it was actually comparable to radio ads or print media.
It was really affordable.
Well, here we go into the bottom of the ninth inning, and it looks like we've got a new pitcher on the mound here for the Yakima Valley Pippins. So the night is done for Peyton Robertson after he came in relief of the opener, Kenny Johnson, who stands to win this one for the Pippins if they can hold on here. The man wearing number 15 on his back on the mound right now is Connor Wilson, who is out of Chelan. 6'1", 185-pound sophomore at Yakima Valley College. Connor Wilson now taking over, the third pitcher of the night here for the Yakima Valley Pippins, getting a chance to pitch close to home. As Wilson, numbers on the season here for the Pippins. If I could find him on their score sheet, I can't. So it looks like this is his first opportunity to, no, here he is. That's making his fourth appearance with a 1.12 earned run average. 12 strikeouts, 4 walks, in his 8 innings of work. Has allowed 1 run on 4 hits. So here we go for Connor Wilson. Chance to pitch in front of the, I'm sure a few fans here from Chelan, at least family at least, you'd think. Meanwhile, Enzo Apodaca will lead it off here in the 9th inning for Wenatchee. He's 1 for 2 tonight with a fly out, a walk, and a base hit in his last plate appearance in the 6th. First pitch on the way to the plate by Wilson is a little outside for a ball. 1-0 the count to Enzo Apodaca. 15-5 our score here. We'll try to get some late scores for you. Strike cold and the count even at 1-1 strike. Get an update on the Mariners before we go away from that one. Bottom of the 7th in Seattle, and it's still tied at 3-3. Strike cold here, and the count 1-2 strikes on Enzo Apodaca. Get some scores on the West Coast League before we wrap up our broadcast here tonight as well. The next pitch from Wilson is a curveball missing a little bit high for ball 2. 2-2 to Apodaca. Bottom of the 9th inning in Port Angeles. Cowlitz all over the lefties tonight. 17-4 in that one. Bellingham has 1 tonight. Look out. That ball goes chasing the Pippins that are beyond the dugout on the first base side. Count stays at 2-2 on Apodaca. Bellingham beats Ridgefield tonight 3-1. Bottom of the 8th inning, Bend still leading Walla Walla 7-5 down at Burlesky Stadium tonight. Those are your scores around the West Coast League. 2-2 count, and the pitch again. Swung on a miss, and he was fooled badly on that one, way out in front of the off-speed pitch. So 1 out for the AppleSox here in the 9th, and that's back to the top of the order for Michael O'Hara. O'Hara with a base hit and an RBI in that 6th inning in a 4-run 6th inning where Wenatchee scored 4 runs, all with 2 outs as they brought 9 men to the plate. That was an impressive collection here for the AppleSox tonight, even though they're way behind on the scoreboard overall 15-5. That was an impressive inning. O'Hara 2 for 3 in the ball game. This takes the first pitch high for a ball. 1-0 the count. Appreciate everybody who's been involved in the broadcast here tonight, including Tucker Wagner back in the studio. Curveball here is a called strike at 1-1 the count. Malcolm Whitehall in the van, doing a great job switching of the cameras here this evening. Speaking of our cameras, Dan Kuntz out there in center field with that view you see right now. This pitch swung on and hit the air down the left field line. Long run, diving play. They can't get to it. It's going to be a fair ball, and into second base with a sliding double is Michael O'Hara. Bloop double down the left field line. Connor Cabales and Alex Shanks trying to converge on it, but neither one can get it. And O'Hara, with the speed, gets into second base with a 1-out double. That brings up Dakota Duffalo. So Dan Kuntz out there in center field. Also over on the first base dugout, Josiah Davison and Levi Day. Our crew here involved in this one tonight, so thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate all that you do for us here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Duffalo looking for his first hit tonight. He's 0 for 4, popped out to first in the 6th, out in foul territory. Swings and fouls this one back, 0-1 to count to Dakota. 12 hits per side, so yeah, you got 20 runs on 24 hits and 4 errors. The total line score here tonight. My, oh my. Wilson ready, and the 0-1 pitch is swung on and again fouled back into the net behind home plate. The count goes to 0-2. So to Tucker Wagner back in the studio, we get the final out here, and I'll give a couple of final comments, and we'll go to our sponsor close and close up our broadcast here tonight. 0-2 count to Duffalo with a runner at second and 1 down. The pitch on the way to the plate swung on and fouled again and out of play on the first base side. Appreciate Jake Hughes for joining us here on the broadcast, and wish Jake the best of luck at the University of Oregon this fall and next spring. And who knows, maybe he'll be back again in an AppleSox uniform next summer. 0-2 count. Pitch swung on, and again, Duffalo staying alive in there. Several foul balls in a row here for the right fielder from Utah, Dakota Duffalo. Also thanks to Joel Norman for surprising us and stopping by on the broadcast here tonight. Radio voice of the AppleSox on Sunny FM. You can hear Joel over the next 2 nights calling these games here with Yakima tomorrow and on Sunday. This pitch swung on, and again foul ball, and this one's going to get out of play. Well, not quite out of play, or maybe it was. Beyond the stripe down the right field line. So Duffalo is causing a lot of new baseballs to come into the game. Back in the right-handed batter's box, quite the battle going on between he and Connor Wilson. The lefty checks the runner at second, pitch to the plate, swung on, and again fouled back. Incredible at-bat for Dakota Duffalo. We've seen a couple of those battles here tonight. One was by Yakima Valley, able to get a walk on probably about a 12 or 13 pitch at bat. Duffalo here looking at, I think, pitch number 7 or 8 coming his way. All foul balls. Pitch swung on and grounded on a hop right to the shortstop. He'll look the runner back to second. Throw to first in time. Nice play by Connor Cabales. 6-3 on the putouts, and that's the second out for Wenatchee here in the 9th. So they're down to it as shortstop Adam Grobe will step up now for Wenatchee. Adam 0 for the night. Be a nice way to propel himself into tomorrow's game if he can get a base hit here with 2 down. We mentioned Wenatchee scored 4 of its runs with 2 outs in that 6th inning. So Grobe 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts, a ground out, and a fly out in his last plate appearance in the 7th, the fly out to left field. See the AppleSox Coyote mascot trying to cheer on the home team here behind home plate, and a pitch is taken for a ball by Grobe. 1-0 the count to Adam. Supposed to be a lovely weekend here in the Wenatchee Valley, so beautiful weather. Come out to the ballpark. Get yourself a dog. Get yourself an AppleSox souvenir. And watch the home team. 2-0 the count to Adam Grobe. Wilson ready. And the pitch is taken for a strike, and the count goes to 2-1. Well, Connor Wilson out of Chelan, got to be comfortable wearing that uniform color. That's just about the same colors that he had in high school with the Chelan Goats. 2-1 to count here to Grove with a runner at second and 2 down. Pitch to the plate is a curveball, strike called. So the Sox are down to their final strike here. 2-2 the count on Adam Grove. Kenny Johnson, who started the night, stands to win this one. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, bounces in for a ball. Runner from second goes to third, and that'll be a wild pitch to move O'Hara down to third base as the count goes to 3-2 on Adam Grove. John Newman waiting on deck for Wenatchee. Now Wilson will work with the windup with a runner at third base. The pitch to the plate, swung on a miss, and that's going to do it for the ball game here tonight. So Kenny Johnson will get the win. He'll improve to 4-3 on the season. Jack Lee will take the loss for Wenatchee to fall to 0-2. And the big night offensively, a 3-hit night and a 2-home-run night for Spencer Marenko for Yakima Valley as the Pippins get the victory here by a final of 15-5 over the Wenatchee AppleSox. Wenatchee will try to bounce back. There's the moon we were talking about. We'll try to bounce back tomorrow night, 6:35 game time and 5:35 on Sunday. Thanks for watching, and thanks for everybody involved with our broadcast. We'll see you again next Friday with more baseball as the Sox will take on the Northwest All-Star Academy here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching Wenatchee AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel, your local TV station. Tonight's broadcast has been brought to you by Apple Valley Honda, Chelan County PUD, Global Car Care, Laura Mounter Real Estate, Mini Blinds and more, One Way Construction, Sangster Motors, and Save Mart. This has been a special presentation of NCWLIFE Channel Sports. We now return you to our normal programming already in progress.